Well, good evening. Jasu Jumedias. We were live on OK 101.7 FM. So now we're live or your partner radio stations. Migachu FM will cooking to me almost fire live or US. So your NASPA your Kids Jersey Radio New Jersey and your High Life Radio so DMV. And after to your UK London Abonte so Kuku Spencer and any team NASPA Radio. If I'm a Vim lady, good evening, Aquaba, because and some it's just like too many things going on all at the same time. It appears to say I feel waiting and some because CJ Chief Justice I press conference. Chief Justice now suspended or no suspended Chief Justice. She's ready to go to war with government because said yes, Chief Justice and now yeah press conference and then see said you being Chief Justice see one. In fact, and of course the public you cry no a be shared and see it. Chief Justice also I said, given the history of Ghana, in fact, and Chief Justice here in the press conference, so can I say, even the selection of the BIA committee, Grona, yet two almost established said there's a prima facie case. No for the case, no come president, Mahama, Afe, the Omobay and Omoyano. Some committee, no crab, baby, on Cotton or Sukas, or no crash, they say, I the money will do. Because for President Rawlings are brand for your cookum judges, any soldiers, I can say, can help any soldiers judges no the same osuka so ya no mokotena ye no mo plan ye we actually a year me reported at the National Reconciliation Commission and I remember Superintendent Yidana who was the police inspector the matter of the judge's investigation later through book later on akasa kwa ye changing into exam so police ni no ojani ko exam police ni who was investigating the matter of the judges no. Later on, he was changed into exile because now, when he testified before the National Reconciliation Commission, Papa can say, Sapuano, Omudi ko bie kano, kano ko bundasi shooting range, the baby of Kokum judges. Ye fan wo to castle. And the CJ way I suspended as a more can say, Se committee no crack snati wo su castle. One or more quaco diasem. Onu CJ na sem ko hu se ademoni say ya no mudukum judges no enti se nya some person no do mukunu whether physically whether judicially they get on tears here and okoti principle bi wo mre my friend rules of natural justice say before you maybe obi asem wo ba bi ebu an be na ebu an for it doesn't matter and was say to me nipa no fair hearing also tie nipa na nu asem either nipa no ne lawyer whichever case also would see any no master now get nipping bika. Chief Justice or Mamma fair hearing. Mamma, for the whole Chief Justice to organize the press conference. Now, one year I fell squatcho for just a Chief Justice press conference. And I year man also be a press conference trying to explain. You see, yes, say over to the money, and I have to put to the money become one. Whichever way it goes, when the Chief Justice no, yeah, to me, yeah, suspension, everlasting suspension or not. Among way, Kakrabekano. The same way NPP, a year under their time, they followed the due process, but under the NPP time, Charlotte say, as easy boss, Beside, case no sign is haunting NPP. NPP so my case will forever haunt them. What take the speed with which I fell squatcho for Subaya rebuttal press conference for? Say CJ where I suspending decide say every week be or be a press conference. And every week be you be just say we be you the main focus of whole agenda. Reset agenda na mokan. All agenda na mokan. What about the CJ no every week? Like boy and I buy. And CJ mponye. So you can imagine the number of ordinary people you do a mask. You end up with boss and you do no fair hearing. Intended the buga side be. But me mom there, whether CJ is right or Abai is right, and find what I know, they say, President Mahama, due process no follow no. Due process na say so be better CJ, why A, B, C, D, watumra, and you also get X, Y, Z. And the president may decide say CJ no di bim ana odi for. I will say CJ need the crack no command penny for. No mush, oh, there's a prima facie case or be forward na for procedure no follow. Procedure na president they follow. But you see, the fact the procedure is correct. The fact see it means CJ just say sorry, I will see CJ. Said it here, you see boss a lot of say, I was so be a follow. Yeah, the politics of takes for tax, na Ghana, no. Because I've also heard them before they be saying that to be almost on my mind back. On the yin go for many a toilet head from the go. What kind of country are we building? What kind of country are we building? You're wasting time just to remove people instead of wasting time to fix the systems. 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 A man go for the lady. Systems. A bit more minor calling. Or mine, what is it? Israel. A year first, Iran. To bomb with 2 minutes because you don't have any proper economy. Your economy is dependent on other people. On my way, and I'm wasting more time. On my way, I'm wasting more time. Yeah, you CJ. And so, the first section constitution, let just say by force. I'll say, yeah. The same thing you're catching people before yo. Is it necessary? Mama Charlotte Central and baby no yaduma. Systems in here. Because a rule swap. People winning election, no. Charlotte said declare MP for winners of the elections. So it doesn't matter who is EC boss. It doesn't matter who is CJ. System no na wasa mo bene ye adwuma. System no. If you are MP for the American to my Christian, you better my ceremony, Canada, Japan, so you better say complete unnecessary things. Completely unnecessary things. Ye about one more minor to me a conanim. In the president, I be before my president Kupo, my Yakofana Begina platform to so much. Because open it, people, we just Yakofa president Kupo to which one back of Krawa, yeah, man, home, it won't to me solve a problem. Just about of flow in Mayaba. So my Mekanyan Sanchamo. Just a media, a throw a form of a opposition everywhere confusion. How? A opposition everywhere confusion. Opposition and confusion because an opposition to be the government in waiting. I so much so said you are focused. Mama catch a 120-day plan. You are focused on your agenda. Say 120-day plan, President Mama, you are fixated on removal of CJ, fixated on Bank of Ghana. I don't Ghana for unnecessary things because we want to please food soldiers. Before food soldiers, yes, and I cannot say, baby, mama. When we in election 2016, she had no choice. She had to declare you. James this year to many years so and a James or MPP and a James or support MPP or MPP. And this winning elections to James have to call the elections for President Mama. System no here. And yet who is at the head? System no, they don't have trouble to America. I'm not for me, but they don't care because someone him said 4 years in Sumadona Trump. In fact, Swan of California. Governor, you are breaching. They sued him. California governor sued systems. They have a federal system that works. Until the governor can afford to sue you, the president. Now, regional minister Benebet sue Ghana government. Obia like president ni boot. We system you focus on system there be. Yema obia boy na la sulala de your man. Mine is not going anywhere. And this is the point and I expect to say at the time my name is your opposition and come back fix your system and come by you have a ready-made system to fix the nation. The same thing MPP for coming and can NDC the NDC coming now MPP for also fix some system even in opposition 4 years and not 8 years, but now you have a ready system. How become on mind there be MPP for also in opposition. Control in opposition. To me a way forward. Say a 10 or a Bawumia, who system or what? The antenna because you mama Bawumia. Obedience system it can be manipulated by Bawumia or Ken or by anybody into obedience to Oya. And judicial, given the history of Ghana judiciary, I will come judges. And na Dukata by judge and a butcher for no justice, granting Sako de Quantiano. Ye kuma say no. Nyankopon no anim se opese oyi nipa so afo eyi ahaban ti no ma nsuo to ye na body ni nyina atumi ahye. They were killed Bundasi shooting rank. E wotema wo de okotema ni Shy Hills kwan so mom chiro be be for Bundasi no. Yes, they judges. And in a system like this, you 2 years to judges so sign let the petition first one. Ni you 2 years to the justice George na wo de huna mani. Ye be to no mo na ye jailing nkofo na ni atama nkofo ne pardon so metan but is made judges matter. We have continuously disrespected the judiciary. They be also full soldiers to voya ya dwene hype you know what for me. Na ye die kire so ye chief justice it will change the judiciary no. Court clerks so bail him so when you a high court removal of the chief justice alone will not do anything just because you see electoral commission and the only person to start the process for the removal of electoral commissioner any CJ. Into CJ if you want the next ranch, the next Jemensa. Me see ye Charlotte say Ghana go see say NPP winner will win, NPP loser will lose. And this is what we need our winning. Well, lose. You can't change it. It doesn't matter whether you change, you remove CJ. Follow what the CJ no. But you see, there are also those who think that even though CJ they can say, because on the human on your bonibia. People like Pastor Ceremony are being now insisting the CJ knows about the law. Not CJ knows only or not so it's not about the law. But I don't think in the press conference that CJ can say she's above the law. All the CJ was saying that rules of natural justice don't breach it, and therefore, rules of natural justice in your juma. Now one will be so war. What did not begin a court? Now, man, come and nipan in Kasa. Let's say, what bunipana abrani soon? What will know soon so soon? That's what the CJ is saying. But Professor when I just said no, CJ also has questions to answer. But it may be that CJ now has questions to answer. But questions that CJ know what to answer. Does it rise to the level of say a CJ Nana? And ye CJ now, will it solve the fundamental problem that you person a clear or not? That's a very important question that we must establish. Say to me, I establish say procedure because in your body na body punishable. In your body na body punishable. It is a thing they don't cry a bibia. Does it rise to the level say a bonnie more dear? I was ye na so at the corner of CJ, and sensible one. How do we resolve the problem? Because you may CJ, we can remove 100 CJ. If the problem is there, the problem will continue to be there. It's from CJ.
An example is an allegation that I failed to retire accountable interest of $14,000 when I traveled. When I did retire that accountable interest 2 days after I returned from my journey, I was given $14,000. I could only spend $4,400, and I returned $9,600 2 days after I returned from Ghana.
It is easy no say almost say or man is sika bi so open to kwan when to me anya account o say nya no pre sika mo no 14,000 o ba e kwa when to me spending in spending 4,000 something o ba no dey sign bre o. So where is it? What I say obi busa say what's the rules of natural justice? Rules of natural justice be emienu. Number 1, you can't be a judge in your own cause. And you are this subobo obi no to me may judge in be asem no. You can't be a judge in your own cause though. The expression is you can't be a judge in your own cause. Second rule, rule of natural justice also say you must give everybody fair hearing. It's before maybe will be a forum. I was so man fair and so tell no one simplicity. And no one rules of natural justice. It is the whole must need any lawyer and Casadia who better know the answer. How can you establish that there's a prima facie case against CJ? This I deal where CJ here they were come. Bawumia lawyer and Casa. How? You must let the person speak. These are the principles of natural justice. And when you say CJ, opposed to any citizen of Ghana, and the law, in fact, I brought no problem with the law, and this are rules. And it's a judge in Kwan, and any court in Kwan as rules of natural justice near you. And Melko cry, I must be a prayer bonnet. And ye didn't ask them or Melko Nima. You must give the person fair hearing. Simple. Fair hearing. Simple. It's fair because see, and CJ say and one the same thing as a lot of said yes, I pushy government and CJ. We must establish a system one. Yeah, time will be any just because or CJ and or you perceive say unimafa. Because what the CJ is on a buyer or no near buyer, it's immaterial. Because who quite no American idea. You want just some yet Republican or me conservatives. You want just some yet liberals. And you so that is not so nipa. And it's a job to be NDC and or NPP. Oh, come nipa. It's not a it's time to say you full soldier thing be brain nim said you brumano she to me monyansa. You know what form. If you can CJ wa ha na oni enya boni o. Enya boni. It's not a crime. There is no law. I say CJ money and money. The law only says that who apply a judgment and a court. Oh yeah, court. You must apply the law without fear or favor. That's all. And it's not fair. Uni A and not uni B. You belong somewhere. You belong somewhere. Or see, you must apply the law without fear or favor. And one another. In the same way,
my journey. And so I knew that it was necessary that the issues being thrown around as petitions against me needed to get into the public space. I swore to a supplementary affidavit alerting the Supreme Court also of human rights violations that I had started encountering when I went to the Article 146 hearings. However, the members of the Supreme Court that heard the application refused my application for the hearing in open, and they also struck out the supplementary affidavit at the request of the Attorney General. I have decided to make this statement today because the violations have not stopped. Indeed, they have escalated beyond anything I could have imagined as possible in justice delivery. These violations include the committee's refusal, in breach of the rules of natural justice, to recognize my lawyer on the first day of proceedings, simply because I was not personally present with him. And they went.
It is TJ na walking can at him say, Omo boomraso, Omo tietia and the fan who so, and whether or you CJ or not, no, or Sefata or no, so Mrano will protect her. And Mrano will protect her because she's also a Ghanaian. First and foremost, CJ a Ghanaian before she's anything. Or a Ghanaian before she's anything. What's that say? And the fact say, won't pay CJ na no, and from Mrano or one. Because when we see young coachy go to airport now, the Lord doesn't lie in anybody's anus. It doesn't lie in your mouth. It doesn't lie in your hands. And God will be anti but I won't change the law. Oh yeah, then you must go through the process. I want to present mama. In fact, you can see the mama is following exactly where the president mama. What the CJ is saying in Christ, she's not even mentioned president mama. She's just saying, committee now because rules of natural justice just say it was second fact and so obisi madam no. Well, once a put your one and you once will be display knowledge, skills, acumen, intelligence. Oh yeah. Go some papa tabako because I'm not a mistake, not because school there, Bibu corner your two number be pitching artists will be tuning back for another be to put to you. Knowledge is good. In a Bible, can Solomon see to the making of knowledge, there is no end. Pia speaks as if she knows everything. Read it. Me, everyone anymore. I read. Obi to know, Pia sending me document. Now, Dr. Kennedy, I'm sending you this document. Then I take my time and read. Meaning, but I read it. Into me reading, I'm so not to me. So you to read. Take a little rules of natural justice. They go to Google, not to Google. Oh, rules of natural justice. They were here. Read too. Would you this when you who saw baby display knowledge? Especially when it's a woman. What time you? We na kumati bobo eti me no born. O say o time e na me hu na me stand flexible so. O time e na me hu me ba me abuti mom. I try be careful. Sure, if you learn you knowledge there is good. I mean just know whether if you are MPP or MDC it doesn't matter. It also be belonging somewhere. Until the fear or MPP cry doesn't matter. The fear is that the law or not? Men don't hide behind, if you're MPP or Katama MPP, if you're, it doesn't matter. If you're MPP, the fear cannot, is that the law? Is that the position of the law? Is that the misinterpretation of the law? Now, that's the again, you can sign a law. Oh, let me challenge you on this. Then we are doing intellectual discourse. But don't come like people like, oh, she's bleaching herself. Can you see? When you don't have anything sensible to say, na Daniel Tasi na fe atemdidie no ye na akot na abroche and this am oh utumi ko jibi imi kunu na de me ko abroche nti usu utumi ma oyire be fa ukọ oti ase e bia don't worry, stick to the issues. Ghana no that's we are a global village here. Yeah, no yes omu die and found you got internet TV or fire. Well, everybody has the right to speak. It's a man for personal attempt to shut anybody up. Muni pay or America, yes, or a basement. Or starting the matter, make shut up and come shut up. No, nobody will shut anybody up. Yeah, you know, over 20 bloody years, and we are going to continue until yes, you money because yeah. But who it won't change anything. So let's go back to the issue. Here are Felix Chopchop who speaks for the president to know. CJ got it all wrong.
To begin with,
CJ got it all wrong. Here are Felix Chopchop who betrayed him. Say no. Selection of a friend saying castle. Just a coincidence. Committee now we CJ case. We just wanted a place to sit. A place that is convenient and professional have my medical concern. That's why they chose the place. This is any case. Committee let's listen to your Felix Chopchop because a very important point.
Now the venue in question is the Edu Lodge. Yes, it is close to the Osu Castle, which used to be the former seat of government. As I speak, there are government agencies that operate there. So it is a public place. The Osu Castle is a public place. You can go there to conduct official government business. Beside it are private residences owned by Ghanaians who move freely in and out of their residence, even though they are situated very close to the Osu Castle. So the impression that a facility in the vicinity of the Osu Castle necessarily makes it intimidating or foreboding is completely misplaced. It is unfair. It is not justifiable. Now, Edu Lodge is a state facility which is often used to house high-ranking officials who visit the Republic of Ghana. It belongs to the state. The decision to use that place was not that of government or President Mahama. The committee requested that they needed facilities of a certain status that could house their activities and that could facilitate a smooth running of the proceedings. And that facility was available. It is equipped with modern amenities that will facilitate the work of the committee. And the state only offered it upon the request of the committee. Let me also state that that facility is not intimidating.
In the year of Patrick was in HHM said that the CJ was very wrong. It was just a matter of inconvenience. And now the morning, yes, because matter of judges is related to them until there's a signal. President Mama it has nothing to do with the issue. And that's what, in fact, immediately, CJ another president, a castle also a office of the president, so I am here to respond to the issue, you know, and that's what the beauty of democracy is. And Felix Chopchop was just saying, okay, but being the one of my insulting. See, I'm kind of say, put so yes, I'm for my, you know what from yeah, maybe say, nowhere in Felix Chopchop's statement or comment or his speech is even trying to even be disrespectful. No, I can't follow money being able to do it politics and do it with decency. But here for man, no, or two for baby any canoe. It's can you but very now both was so camera AD attempt there be here for man a commonly any bro sense for abadamo I didn't get all. They are sorry AD attempt. Obi any one man, why you busy, what drain bigger things of that just to indulge in unnecessaries because it won't add any value to you, really. It won't add any value to you. You come back to Felix Chopchop for you because we're a very important issue. Judicial no can
secure the process and bring in unrelated matters that seek to cast some aspersion or ill motives on government for affording the committee a place to do its work. As I indicated, we have no interest in violating the constitution by going into the merits of the case. And that is why government has refrained. Let me put it on record that government itself has had cause, indeed the president himself had cause, to lament the way in which some correspondence around this matter got into the media. You will recall that the very first sign of any leakage was the letter that the Chief Justice wrote requesting for copies of the petition. Before the letter got to the presidency, it was in the media. And you recall that in the president's response, in which he also took the opportunity to forward the petition to her, we raised that issue, that it was not acceptable. Indeed, we had cause, the president had cause then to ask his executive secretary to mark the documents that were being sent to the Chief Justice in order to guard against any leakage.
I like this point that Chopchop is making. I say, president companies that because the president wants to stick to exactly what the constitution is saying. And he say, Omobeka said, president got into the merit of the case. Then the constitution now got to say to me, or the president or say, the obey the petition, but nani policy or case it has CJ. I was a president for the common committee. Now committee the moment established that there's a prima facie case against CJ. So I'm going to establish it there. Now president Dinaso, then you CJ no. And the president no grant some people begin or say, oh, because Kabi, their constitution not canon or the demand or the common committee. And to say a some no grant petition in the core bontino, no more cry or no whom said. CJ the response will be the leaky in the coy or more money more Nipako leaky and no more no more. They want to follow the constitution to the letter. So I like that clarification now. Here are Chopchop, but whether you want to believe him or not, that's not my business. But the point that he's making is, yeah, they follow constitution. Yeah, I'm not 2 minutes. Yeah, they establish a prima facie case. What is that? Prima facie, just Latin. The extra say, so obi the case president say, ABC didn't complain on the war. ATM CJ say, why you say? I also president no committee. Na committee ni say, any na forward. Nipana semina already na. Two, say assembly sebia nyansa wom ewo mo a ewo se ebusa CJ no. Eno na eduma committee ni ye no. Eno ana ne Latin no matter within prima facie. You know say lawyers dey will be even legalist. You be na legalist. It's a question me wo ha. Assembly sebi wo ho no ma. Nyansa wom ewo se CJ ni ya no na. Eno na committee ni say yes, assembly sa wo. Enti omanya wo assembly sa wo no na CJ ni ntina nchen. Enti na na make attempt say president pa. Wo sha article a constitutional provision no a. Okay, president bet me suspend the CJ no. No suspend na. It doesn't give a limit how long the president can suspend the CJ. But you see, a CJ to some yati say on resigning party and conformity at CJ is able. Yes, resign, no coffee, no didi. Yes, resign, at all resigning now coffee you cry. You retire on your salary. Salary, I'm just to a modu. It's in Concord. My minister said that. Say, I didn't have some better, so now something no crack. No, but now I say, I'm not Debbie, over 5 10. So him said, I do my bonnet cry, I do my bonnet because why a bonnet? Never pass it. Or that's now I'm trying to sorry, I can try to sort the area. And all my obi and can some no 20 pass it. Or no matter resigning the like on resigning or chap because Bonedia on ye. So that's the point that the CJ is also making. Said she's not seeking to cling to the title section opposite CJ and her position not open any duty. So Kasa. And Timo among Kasa CJ, I know what catch him is their duty to speak. Freedom of expression. It is also the plus that I want that will be so better. I am for have been late now. Casa don't come into me. Constitution is here in our citizen how to make Casa. Now also Casa. Now the plus that one. No, be so better. Oh, I'm saying. So that's what the CJ is saying. Someday, why already so better? I already saw better. Lord, you know what I'm not say. The Edu Lord selected it was featured prominently in the planning of the murder of the judges. And it's a so also CJ no most more kwa kojina the same place na mo planning ya kum judges no most an kojina ho and no will be can na for so it has no significance because they need relationship there. You ever call MPP for case because then so you have big case power with MPP for to be solve your problem to make a friend say President Kufo and Abba to help them with their problem. And the truth but question be about CJ case no or not only question or not not say. So when Hope Sinadoe was suspended from MPP, he said as long as the Lord liveth, he and his family will eat. Okay, so what has Hope Sinadoe case got to do with CJ Diema? Situation here. Philip Tego no say I doubt if you understand what I wrote. You better okay minimum ni pakra onene enya no nti unkonfo so ba na ebi mo so kon e platform no so he say also remember President Mahama when he was in opposition, he said that he will make sure NDC lawyers will bring the Supreme Court will bring to the Supreme Court, and he also said he will take the Chief Justice off. So that's all that they are doing. It's all about politics. Well, politics you must follow the law. You're a champion, good evening, champion patrol. Also, you're good evening, pastor. No views, China or the HI. We appreciate your time. Julie say, Charlotte said was sad. We did not see all the noise. Well, there was a lot of noise. I don't know, minimum says Charlotte said time was here. I have a problem because Charlotte said time there was a whole over the removal of Charlotte say. Now, you say I have a selective memory. So I say that way time one Kasa and then I will Kasa. Charlotte said that the whole Ghana civil society groups, everybody spoke. In terms of one and now, first say, Samampom na wanti. Nti afe na wabefi. Nti waba ani akwaba. But Charlotte said time a lot of people spoke. Obia Kasai. Civil society everywhere. Then I can big case for Ghana. Bramos say where is the prima facie case against the CJ? My heart weeps for Mother Ghana. Why is the MPP and all the minorities sad? Silent is very sad. Well, this is not an MPP or minority case. This is a matter of the CJ. Where you are more of civil society groups, but again, you can't stakeholders in Ghana's democracy. Our judiciary is a key feature of multi-party democracy where MPP forces stakeholders so they can speak. But it's really not an MPP issue. It's a judicial issue. It's a democratic issue because the judiciary is a major arm of government. And the democracy is damn so. And the three arms of government. So that's what differentiates democratic governance from soldier bank to say first Ibrahim Traore military no. It's in our who journalists from Ghana. Ibrahim Traore Ibrahim Traore DDBC or Ghana then number one casualty for a media for. Now you say boom 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 boom. I stop there. The first place they go to the national broadcaster, which in our case GBC. They will ban all radio stations, all TV stations, all online. They will ban everything. They control the national broadcaster. I'm not sure you kind of work. More than what I say, cool, yeah, simple. Yeah, what's one? I can cool back TikTok no be in Ghana. Go do back for her. TikTok calling yeah, you to me yeah for a WhatsApp call proud. I'm paying Ibrahim to a DB. Oh, now Casana would be at them. No, you're quite right. Media them give. Democrats in the end, I can't say no, I'm so can I depending at them. Nothing happens to the person. It's because of democracy. If you pay Ibrahim Traore then get ready to shut up because now shut up and they will make you shut the hell up. They will make you shut the hell up. Now you see the Kasasa, into democracy, that's it. I'm not sure. I say, Master, more Mokas if you are Kasama MPP, no Kasama, how I made here. And that's why media acquire TV radio station, baby. It could to be could hear the airport. Need to by now more volume. No, what I say. Anybody for a matter of choice. If I won't hear me, I know I only Bonnie be huh? And I don't force a steady agenda to please you. A woman it doesn't have to be sweet or palatable to your ears. What I think, can you start again to me? So we'll come back to MPP for the very soon. I come and talk about MPP for the NSC or Marco President Kufuor. So dear President Kufuor can because the mere fact of bringing President Kufuor doesn't mean that well to be a solve the problem. The mere fact of bringing President Kufuor and just say what's solve the problem. You must see that some people before when I'm starting you. I Charlotte say no, I before and NDC for so I say yes we are all die be die. Yes, you will crop for you be you and I dig Ghana. I baby I drew to the point where I ate for that. And there are two press conferences. Just say automatically he had the major issues of today. Like I was here can't answer issues a bit more man petrol by you Iran Israel war you cause a bit me. I mean bread and butter issues, unemployment, never President Mahama Kaya, first 120 days. How are we going to police President Mahama? Said about any man or kind of all these things here to me because we have all been in a distraction. I'm a young I could do a CJ, any government, any other, you know, but he assume they were the arms of government anymore. And you teachers the cost strike. These are teachers almost your man any they have gone on strike. Now the strike no cost for a month. It just said no money and I see a buy and we don't see anything wrong with the major issues I affect your man with any ABC moi. What you say? Any ABC moi. And the cost now you monitor issues no. Any the for the baby and see Daniel Daniel, we appreciate you no time no. Me say what there ubesua bibia no wasua wo unsua you can move on any where you boys here but when I trust send me to mami mutumi koye mutumi koye nti no don't worry ye there adwuma na said yes ye no any ye no let's go to MPP from the CJ issue no ye ne Kofi Bekasa so that we find out into what is the end. What is the end in this CJ matter? Will there even be an end to this matter? And I said, yeah, and because a lot of people are saying, CJ now brought this onto herself. And it's also on resigning, on also come home. On brought this matter onto herself. Because, CJ no say, time I know we unanimous FC was Supreme Court. No, Naka we see. That's what somebody was also saying in his message back one. On also SND at the buy. Well, what is it? You see, one take court process nasia. A unanimous FC. There's nothing like unanimous FC. Which case there was a unanimous decision by the court. The court or a decision and crime case. I mean, there are so many cases with it. Political cases depending on the court. It is a political case, but very unanimous FC. We must law no one court. Yam fire no kasa and a more. Emotions and a year to my court. And I am funny about that. Said you better one DC there, and I better one MPP there, and a year more court. Court means about law. And law, and getting in a there. Sometimes you must lose the case, but gracefully. Gracefully. Shagan is a man of President Mahama appoint to a Momusuko Supreme Court. Into almost do one Mabaka almost a unanimous FC. Ubaka almost a unanimous FC. Allow the judges to work. The more you mention Kofa Juma said judges in your Juma said the Emirates, the more Kofonia the tangent say Kukum judges. These are some of the things the method of the judges about know. The perception that the judges were not delivering justice. Meanwhile, court will be himself court two things. Either you win or you lose. And the money say in amount of Kukum judges. And that's why the BI should say Bapana judges in Yamashi. You see, because constitution and to me, my president appointing for Supreme Court. Into the young MPP for one. Na yanko asem Kofi Sabo you can say why are the teachers quiet on why is the media quiet on the teachers? Now more teachers also say more bia. Mo koka na special exam to cry me koka say mudro bi mudi matem. And now say media for ni big mama. But I think that there's been a good coverage on the your friends saying teachers na strike. And they no say media is quiet. It's not true. We teachers no strike because the media is talking about it. The media is talking about it. Sapon, I start to say good evening. I'm listening to you, Brother Sapon. Good evening. Thank you so much. You are listening to us. So are you really a student or you gave it up? How is Charlotte Osei's removal the same as the CJ? You are supposed to be educating the viewers, but you're a constitutional provision. And Princess Party won't say the same constitution and a map procedure for the removal of CJ, for the removal of electoral commissioner. Now you are telling somebody say it will be a law student and hey, all right, I know what format then you come back and you come and even come and argue about issue no. Nana piano it's good to say I suspended CJ no. I think it is good that the suspended CJ is protesting. The natural justice she's talking about is not given or offered to the common man on the streets who are remanded in our prison custody for no prosecution. Well, remand you is part of the prosecution. And rather than I think what you should be saying, say They are remanded when there's no justice in the case, because it's true saying them case, so they don't have a conviction, but they are there. But then yes, there's no prosecution, because the fact that the people have been remanded, no, just that there's a prosecutorial procedure going on. But baby, why you or massing? But and you can't say, oh my baby, and just say, na CJ no nim, some people be one moment, the natural justice to go munyebi, and so more than some man. And then the also, and I think the basic import of Brano, Leia, and also no. Augustine say, or see if I wept. I nearly cried after hearing the CJ who say mameno yenene nini ye. And then who say me boy back or I been negotiate series so CJ na no say o see CJ omone no nini ye cry asem no into no so na sem no Safa die no say if a guilty conscience is affecting the suspended CJ. So no CJ na so the tibo bu ni fo ono so asem o CJ na so tunim said o ye na nye no kwa so the tibo na bu ni fo and yes Ken Kudus or say if you thank you for the education Ken Dukes. Ken, thank you so much. Alonga or say you are everything you want to tell us. You everything you want to tell us, you know. Okay, I don't know what that means. After battle, so good evening. Tell Madam Tokunu say she's not above the law. See, I can't CJ say she's not above the law. When Professor Asari Kotro and say law no the law, we CJ, we CJ suspended or acting. Oh yeah, under the law. Into manager real and no. Appear Abuatin Michael or say they should handle the case out of political lenses. This can destroy our court system. I agree. Say GDA already GDA go for baby your court in cry from. Till then I want to be Mikobodia, and you know, say yeah, bro swa. And also one not more a bit to me bad. That's the CJ issue no. A bright way so I can't answer no hand. It's different issues and no the so or say looks like she had some personal qualms or see CJ no maybe a personal issue so no justice for man furthermore it defies logic. Why is she so bickering over her case and not being aired live for the public? What she did in public today is contemptuous and unconstitutional. Because there's a process ongoing. It is a process they cost not see Jenny we were abontia. Let us will book a committee into one or say contemptuous as I am constitutional because a committee no in a juma said the Senate and Fata. Paul is also semi ready. Paul will message away be apostle into but send the business and me with him out or see in the message no maybe do message this issue. I mean, everybody has their views on the matter, but it's very important say you protected the sanctity of the judiciary. Whether CJ, this is not about the CJ. This is not about the CJ because a CJ will alternate to be another CJ. They said it's here be and I will see it to me say ama judiciary no. So at I say if you are studying anything, judges are coming to the Supreme Court. So what next? What they have to come? A constitutional right say obey to me nominating because you are like other places. So yeah, the constitution in my president limit and 7 judges in now will go to the Supreme Court. Because judiciary and a young on the bench, but not just the Supreme Court only now. Lower courts in here and for also echo. No. Fred because kindly continue to educate the masses. Kevin Peters will say her press conference CJ and lacks substantive information with her ongoing situation. It's just emotional blackmail to the court to court public sympathy. She just signed her sack letter. And you say CJ when the press conference in Conrad are sacking her because there's a process going on now. Into about Montana be say I make as a one anymore. Okay, well, God, would be at them. There is no place for insult. You can go to kitchen for no one. Now I could at them one. My idea patrol, yeah, better. I insult. Add any value to anybody. Wow, can you won't add any value to us. Chika, I say, why is she doing a press conference? A lot of people are in prison. Justice has eluded those people into your press conference. Now, what they did, the question, no. Presidency Chopchop also carried out a bogus press conference to counter the CJ. That's one bogus. Indeed, there was a grand political agenda orchestrated against the CJ even before it started. And also the comments are you could just say so at the urban to be out issues. And I'm not about because let's leave this issue out of the political agenda because they say no, as a politics number more than even substantive issue, no. Yeah, I said no, a bit free even a legal issue. A bit me baby. I say that purely political matter, which shouldn't be the case. See, you're also bempa because we need to move into the MPP for confusion as well. I see almost camp like they say next, the next MPP administration will put 20 judges in the Supreme Court. Well, that's why you see, that's the issue that I'm saying we should focus on. So, be a constitutional and the right to appointing for Supreme Court will be at the Beguma. We are heading towards chaos. On my BBD, we are just a little over 30 million. Now party Supreme Court. Meanwhile, there are people in the lower court, circuit court. They say, "Oh, let us say, prison." The lower court in the was here didn't call judge to call. A honey here more. But your party when you never so ayo. Yo. Obviously, if you are relaxed and talk program was there. That's the nature of the program. Program behind the persona of the program. On other programs, I don't speak like that, but on this program, this is the persona of the program. I don't know Captain Smart, but I am going to slow down. I am slow man, your bar knows I'm a pie. I'm feeling pie. 20 years and over and pie, and then a pie. And if you call someone low IQ, is that praise singing? We are here because we are not, oh no, people are insulting. If the moment you insult, that is low IQ. There's no need for anybody to insult anybody. But we have behind say fool, or free, if you are a fool, that is low IQ. Because I said, well, you don't even have to agree with me. What you mean fire me without insulting me? What you mean fire TJ without insulting? And people have sent messages doing that. But the moment you go into Ofui, Abua, that's low IQ. There's no mincing words about it. It's only a description. And yet, there's no reason why in a modern day society say at least that. There's no way what's a discussion be cut to the level where Ofui Abua because they said they conform to me so come no matter on programs. No, no. Modern no. No. We have come too far in Ghana in our personal life to go to that level. Every day they make us a low IQ. And then Emmanuel Pierce, CJ was challenging the speaker Alban Babe now, who is powerful. Okay, you see, CJ no not only Alban Babe, just who is smoothness level and Nana Pierce is unfortunately the CJ has been caught in a political quagmire created by the last MPP government by booting out the EC boss. Ed ignore Ed. So you know about the word. Sometimes I mean feel baby, but one onipa back on the baby, me bad. My block it out 2 people no dey at my block you. But it's no IQ to insult really. Mamiko also be power, but here are some kataka so or no so Sapo champion. Or see if you are no NDC judges no or see no, the 7 NDC judges is not the problem. So MPP 10 judges is a problem, and I'm here. Well, not a problem. The problem is that the fact the constitution am I right saying found for phone Kogu Supreme Court doesn't mean that you have be brain Kogu. We have to look about them because when you know Article 71, it's in also honka. So yesterday I say oh man, you need to say. You ask me a complaining as Gracia. That is what we know. See the Amuka, see the woman no baby as Gracia. That's why a lot of people don't know. She has nothing to lose. She has nothing to lose. Betty has Gracia. So when you want suspension, you need to pay with all the Gracia benefits. So I'm careful. My no just I don't know focusing on LGBTQ plus law. And now for the woman a new judge is a bench, so perhaps that's why more calls so that they can work on the bill. Say back a Supreme Court because people want to challenge it. Adam say if as a nation we are able to provide competent lawyers and judges in our lower court, it's true. Lower court here judges, it's so in case it's a Supreme Court. A form one in here, What is it? The CJ has exposed the kangaroo nature of our judicial system to the world. Say your system, your kangaroo. I said that your proper system. It's yeah. Also, about so camera. I have a camera. I say Edum. Because that was the last message I heard. Chica, see who see people who have lacked. Or see people who lack training at home. I'm gonna back online baby at them. Yes, really. I mean, you can disagree. Start BAB. By all means, we should disagree. Start BAB, but under no circumstance should it go into a fuya. But yeah, I mean, we have grown past it. This is a modern society where into the fire. Don't be limited. Fire start BAB, but it shouldn't be any. There shouldn't be any insult. Also, my mama, good evening, Papa. Yeah, on PP
battery low. You do Kanian sa near battery near lower. You drink a say.
Let do Mokani. Hello, freezing.
And I make us a dundum Kania dundum Nitiama. Sisi no. Oye udi ejina so cha wa hae. Nkania nduma ni dumo. Yes, you need generator we fi inti esrew. Kania nduma na we ya hae. So ati ase mesrew pa sisi ye bre opposition etie ye bre papa. Inti so
opposition na obre.
O ya hae. Yesrew pa.
6 months peno.
Hello.
Me busasa 6 months peno opposition na obre ana.
Hello. Via.
Me busasa 6 months in opposition na obre.
Yekasi ye bre kania utufie na kania de preso. Enye bre. Enya mani hunu. TV kakra watu esiwo ne ejatum ana de minua ba ko opumase na anu ni fridge ejatum. What you say? Enye agudie ni ekansa no. What you say? Ti yade a yekasi ye bra, nyesi ye bresi ye bre ankasa. Yes.
Yeah, but more MPP because that's also one of the main issue I ever come and say. But I don't know whether CJ wants if you have anything to say about it.
One of the main issue of and then I can be before the three arms of government. I mean, it's proponents of our democracy have always said, say, even three arms of government, principle of separation of powers, Juma. Now you say you judiciary, you the legislature, and you the executive arm of government. All these people work independently. I'll be the Juma. In the minute I will say the judicial or the executive is interfering with the work of the judiciary, it becomes a very dangerous path for our democracy. That is why if you are the Uye is a man for Tiasia, Kamas, those proponents of our democracy, it will say we need a fourth estate of the realm, which is the media. Media no best serve as a watchdog for the three arms of government. Exactly what you're doing. You are doing a critical role in a modern democracy. But people don't know, say, the media is the fourth estate of the realm. The media is playing a key role to make sure, say, the three arms of government, or interfere. And one thing about say, if you have these things, it all boils down to constitutional amendments. I can once a meal because the judiciary, the executive arm of government has so much powers to the extent, say, executive presidential system of government, it's a fusion of parliamentary system and the presidential system in the United States of America. So the confusion is always here and there, where the president can appoint Supreme Court justices in today. And if the president can do that, what can the president do about any judge? He is so wish if he gets power and he feels that he can do something.
Interfering because when the constitution can't French him or their head mumbu baby
Of course, that is the point I'm making because he looks
so
into the No, he's looking to the loopholes. And he's, even though it's vindictive or whatever, you look at the loopholes in the constitution. So yes, constitution baby a loophole, are we building our democracy? We are not. And that's the point I'm making. Because I don't know and then so But I say, you build the democracy to the level that we want to go. And that level is about, they claim that they are coming to reset the country. Yeah, resetting the country. No, the president, yes, setting. They shouldn't create in the mindset of the ordinary people, say, what you say, it's a witch hunt, or is something that they said and they want to use it against the judiciary and to use it to score political points or to witch hunt or to hunt certain group of people in the country.
Okay, but also
dangerous. So they say we have history in this country. Now can one say that impression ever into the political playing field now, it becomes very dangerous for our democracy. It here the can say almost said the right thing no we na say mrakwan no omo de fam mrakwan so na say CJ to also be given fair hearing na ono so ntimi kan asem na sebi abrewa emfa pumanko twere ba bia twere ne to twere de twere ye nyina de can say we don't want our democracy to go back. We don't want our democracy.
Also, Obi Beka say, Charlotte said, what's it? Oh, interfere. Charlotte said, was it not an interfere? Is it not the same thing?
Adano,
Charlotte said, manifest. Do you admit
that? No. You are saying it. I'm not saying it. You are saying it. That's why the people of Ghana gave them the mandate to rule, so that they can correct the mistakes.
By the decision of the people of Ghana,
as some may cannot tell them, can say. Maybe that's the judgment of the ordinary Ghanaian people. That's why they gave them the mandate. Senya, say ye Charlotte, say for me, now me see nothing wrong with it as a political party.
And but so you still maintain that there was nothing wrong with it.
As some American no mami we. What you say? Who share assembly ya obeti the American say ne enye na Ghana for see at 2 about ye. And I must be reset. Reset the old batteries and I was resetting. I was bishop. Is that what you are telling Ghana? You are telling Ghanaians that you have nothing to offer the people of Ghana. That is what you are telling us. Because if so, we say Charlotte say in a dinner, we used to that as a year. Na Ghana for to abetiaya. And then you know, Obaya also the justices, chief justice, and Areko, the heart of our democracy. One of the key pillars. Electoral Commission crowd the infant is parastatal here. Or no, you're referee for our elections. Young father say no, everybody can just go out there temporary. But the judiciary, which is a serious pillar of our democracy, and that is where we have to be very careful.
Also, my and President Musa, and your position today on Charlotte Osei case, your position today on CJDA case, that's
my position. My position. Normal council, Charlotte
Osei removal. Your position today. Don't tell me now, dear. Your position.
My position today, it still holds. But there was serious procurement breaches. Evidence by one thing. The woman was able to take it to court and exonerate herself. Serious procurement breaches, according to what we heard, and that was where they used to get rid of her. And then you would say, and they won't see in other state institutions. They make say if the Chief Justice has done something which is against the law of this country, I said you almost establish against Charlotte Osei, now they'll be able to establish beyond reasonable doubt. Mamene Kasan was see or no obey in the South Bonoboso or near corruption, or near be through a public service as a lawyer. And I say, in this almost be evidence, you know, or said the whole kind of premier fasting as a day of judges for can. So, they should take it and nail her and let the whole world know that this is what she has done, and we are getting rid of her because the judiciary should be sanctified. Judiciary in a place, you clean it up. And Obia, the President Mama, Obia, so the premier fasting case back. You who say, if you are a Hana assembly gina. They said they shall not say, a procurement breaches in your man. And no, Mimi position, they said that time, if we stand by the procurement breaches and all these things that happen against her, I'm going to get rid of her. They are justified to do that. And it is a Chief Justice, send this forward evidence to be a na be a trese, why be or why now so me get rid of her. So be it. There's nothing wrong with
it. Then you support it when if you're able to prove.
Of course, if that I said yeah or that no nya said me also me come again. Send you that no nya send so send this and obi aye no say obey use vindictiveness just to get rid of the CJ area. And it's an affront to our democracy. And we need to be very careful where we are going. We are trading on a dangerous grounds, and it is not going to help our democracy.
You support the idea and said there's a process possible on all casa. Because in Conformity, almost starting process, committee in city, did you agree with it?
There are rules of natural justice. I mean, public opinion is there, and it doesn't mean says oh asem wako to uni asem can mean pass a comment. They have also been running commentaries. Government officials have been running commentaries on this matter. Now sebi wasem sebi yese me na bi na kan afia o se nka wunya tekrema pim ewura Ghana afiefie mu wayi wano enso ye de koyi wano ye kan ho asem na ya wunya tekrema pim miwura afie proku afie wotema nipa eguo ye du mi chechire masem akire obia kopiem obi kroma sante achima wo be wie no na onfe kura yo ya enti wunya tekrema pim na nya yi to no so se bo enipa so no so timi pa bontin no be chire ni nsem mu ebia ba bia or no fu say you know no betimi exonerate no ena I'm hearing say she's not giving a fair hearing say obetimi and so she feel that public opinion is very important in cases like that. Natural public opinion must come out, and she obviously feels that she must come out and explain to the ordinary Ghanaian people what she felt. That's it.
But when you call MPP, the one I say one compra, say deputy director of communication there, and now
of course, I'm still the deputy director of communications for
the NP.
Oh, say Juma de Bebre, and ye be na me. Dear me, say Juma, and communication, yes, say Ukotra office kuntai, and then modern communication, me a professor of communication. You know, you don't sit in an office with book near the new. And yes, strategic planning and delivering in your kika and once also sorry I got and yeah, if you am still the deputy director of communications for the great elephant party.
Okay.
The great elephant. And one thing about your party, you know, if you will be an MPP will be a China dream. Yeah, the Onion count show. Ubechina what guinea. Oh, China what guinea. And the president before can I want it. Also be a China dream. Nasa some yen taking the bull by the horn. Now you're making sure say be a problem no you better address it. President before the kind.
One of them we are meeting no can't ask them no.
Yes, and go and read, and listen to his tape. It's all over the social media.
I've seen me what the video about this year.
Yes, Bonatier.
And the apostle also say normal say we na mo kasa o ayi uni abema abroad fire also fire.
Oh, listen, if you one thing, listen, if one thing I want to ask you and say, I have never insulted anybody. Go and check all my interviews. Ghana for Sabi Obi Chena dream in a truthful way. Near misconstrue. I have always told you, go check it up. Say if an man so to Obi, and now Maka Bibiatia, your presidential candidate, be and I say one of the candidates anywhere. It's on record. I've never insulted or attacked anybody. If you go and check, you are a good journalist. Go out there and verify for yourself. Me also, I've never attacked anybody.
But I tell you, what's the video on man? Almost say
hash. There be one example of it. The hash.
I don't remember in 18 years a year. I have to check.
Oh, and if you only point because as someone who can say, Sebi and Prediasa, as some way now one can be teaching. Sebi or be a among 40 years who come see me a brantia, me teach ya, me tiash town, me catching. Actually, team at the brofoka, maybe I make someone make catch
my point to probably person me make it the way I'm running with parties say the confusion, also any confusion.
There's no confusion. There's no confusion in our party. There's no confusion. What is the confusion? The media want to project the light that there has been this thing like this. At the October 2008, I'm chasing the elephant into the bush. Any party, Muna. Obi control chasing the elephant. Your premier of John party. Wait, did the nama? No, he told the nama. we did the nama, and for the home the nama, you are to sign who baby or the borage to Bacoto. Ye Baco, head Dr. Bawumia McDonald, or ye me papa moi, Canada Japon, ye me offer. Brian Champo, ye me young cobra war, ye na ye really ye flag bearer, ye ni NDC for the best ye ni Tokobia or party. But me Chrema Dream say who's me Chrema Dream said say na me dream me call a former as a communication director say na Ghana for say ye dia so me say no benten ba ye beto abanama e no nkyere say me di atem ana me kan o ti de me kan ase entie no de obia wo party no bia no kyere na dwen say bifu soldiers well ekurase obia kyere na dwen ye nuanom a ubo e na woni mafia ade ba ko ye hu ne say eye ade ba ko a wu afia unim say ye no ma ye nim wo radio so ni TV so no afia o de let me appear on a petrol station. You will see the number of people who come to me. Sometimes I feel threatened. When you get to the shopping malls, when you get to the marketplace, when you get to the area, they will come with their issues and be bombarding you. These are some of the
these are concerned party people.
Yes, these are ordinary people. And in my first interview, I'm granted with Oyepa. That is what I said. Empirically, the Ghanaian people will come to you. If you have me see, me wo edusu dom kumasi. Me to me mami nuye biye wuna ye ko klasin me to anwane emu dia komankofo. Na if you have me jina ho na mami fo hu se mia. Abo papu na aba na abo mu na yesi se ni se amusi munyero. Every day, if you're petrol station, everywhere you go, people are coming to you aggressively. Party people, what you say, wanting to vent their spleen. If you are venting their spleen, I'm using that word, English word, vent their spleen on you, just because they are not getting the party, you know, and yes, baku for and a answer with it. Tell the president
more any Congress. No, so I say any confusion. The decision to go for any Congress, no, is that not an indication that why you're confused? Because the confusion that arose.
Confusion, mommy, confusion be bad. Now you're dear promo. Your general secretary, first President Kufuor flag bearer. Yeah, you general secretary for me, no name, you free party no good. Yeah, and no new opposition.
Party now 100%. What you can make upon
you confusion. MPP, we are Democrats. We are Democrats. I know the party near Kono. Yeah, dead. No, be a me also be chairman dream. I'm a come baby. Now we have a chairman dream. You are near Kalba, Kobum Sable, Wabakun and Nanani. Confusion PNC, we will come back stronger as a unified political party. You be here flag bearer and be will. Ubo Hunu, MPP, the best sorry. Is
it sanctioned by the party?
May come if you may come on. What you say, may come on. Itina me bu ye bu baby say me pewe tina store money on my doorson. May come on. May come ma ubi. Inti se wo tina onas or tina's office will be ni papono or kana semono. Or kana says against the party ethics are fine. Me no ka say makabi be a me party. Makabi be a candidate. Minim sabi at the time I fear my binimu daho. Minim said me can as someone may come baby about to see any pin in a pop. Minimasam intro no ne twaso na me kasa nso a me kasa bebuom na de otiate so ti na bebuom enti me kasa se bi se bi obi ogina kinsue obodo nkomi ana oye you me kasa se ochia me a ogina himfi a ye bi asemama apemo he na wotetro he na no eno na me kasa because MPP na no me ye omo chairman ti chairman na me kasa ma me party a me kasa otiase na no asema nkokan no party for ni bi na antimase say me a communication director na say me co grounds na Ghana for no omuto abama ye MPP for delegation to ababa ne say the asema shema no say mo di asumasi ba ye beto abana mam na me be kan radio so a my money I am communicating what the ordinary people are telling me to tell my party people. Is it not communicating? Internally, your party for executive no pay internally. And I make as a minya tekrema piman one with few yi manua. As a become party for no delegate no or chain berry atem or tisse as some way and I make an your tip proper baby that really so. Odiaze amawi odiaze ba me and call no money at the adeno almost betty the eka. That is what I'm saying.
Okay. Any Congress never solving my problem, and I say, what taking decisions by any Congress in the Beba?
Hello?
To Yatunka.
Hello?
What decisions that Yatunka?
Hello?
Hello, Yatunka. When I welcome you and you away in one freezing. Ah, me back to say any
Hello?
Congress have to select a presidential candidate. More for said Babuam. What? I don't understand why one person said there are cracks.
Evia, Ola, I need break you.
Me like okay. What the animal may break it? What do you say? Okay, or checking the battery. Remember also the whilst you are fixing your battery. But Zita, also young Buso Bempamani say, what about what's Abronia up to? Or see only you the Abronia be an original executive. Or see a few be Ankasa. But let me play this video.
2016, very liberally gave us power, huge majorities. But just 4 years later, let's be critical with ourselves. What was the outcome of the 2020 election? And then just another 4 years, what was the outcome of the 2024 election? I believe we must be stopped in our tracks to tell the truth to ourselves.
Elovia, o Mike and mente o casano, mente o casano. Mente o casano. Hello? Mente o casano. Mente o casano. Mente o casano. I need to hear you.
Ahead to make arrangements for the hearing without involving my lawyer while I was sitting in front of them. The committee also has also failed to indicate the specific charges that I'm supposed to be defending myself against in order to allow me to adequately prepare a defense to the charges. The committee has gone on to permit two of the petitioners, Mr. Daniel Ofori and Shining Stars, not to testify at all or present what case they brought to them at the hearing. The committee has refused to allow me to go into the hearing with any family member
I believe
Hello?
such self-critical analysis would be the first step to our regaining power.
Hello?
And it's possible for even 2028. Party like ours, seriously, central think tank. A think tank should work so objectively that even hard truths would be told to itself. It might not be palatable, but if the truth, know it. Because it's only when you know it you can begin to solve the problem. We don't have, with all our intelligence and high qualifications, we seem to be afraid of critical analysis. We don't want to face the real truth. You see, the other thing with us, we may be brothers or friends, but I think I get the feeling that you've taken me for a ride. You've cheated me. I tell you, next time around you call me, I may not come. This is another thing we must admit. We are democratic.
So I don't know, say, moti, menka sisi ya. Utu bemba oti menka. Oti menka. Well, I'm saying utu bemba oti menka still because we need to continue the interview. Utu bemba, mami, that's oti menka. Well, okay. Clive, so okay, Zita, thank you so much. Okay, good, fantastic. Thank you so much. Zita now can't unmute me, so I just went back to fix the EFS microphone settings so that we can be hearing each other because you went to a conversation. Me, if someone join, I'm also share my views on asema can anything that we Ghana discourse and I to me the link can also join this because this issue about Usubempa fire. I don't know. So say Usubempa say camp camp now because I hear said there's Bawumia camp, there's Canadian Japan camp, there's Brian Champo camp, Dr. Duchum camp. Other camps are joining. I'm here. I'm back to 2007, 2008. I'm 18 people contesting. It even appears to me they say Bawumia Munkra than underdog. Last election, now Bawumia they say he's the underdog. What they will come then now?
Maybe what Canadian Japan camp. There's nothing wrong with that. What Canadian Japan? Yes, what Canadian Japan camp. Why?
Now okay, so you executive know where you were new say me what camp. You know ni hade ade ntokwa ne ba.
Na the MPs ni ye share ye two abawi ni 2 weeks grana MPs ni executives ni party chairman ni nkofo be declare almost support say ye vaso me say no bentemra. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, once we are not seeing something that will denigrate us, you know, I'm convinced. Say honorable Kennedy Japona, there's nothing wrong with that.
And no, me have even expressed concern. Say, party are more opposition. More opposition class 6 months penny. And then I'm fixing more problems in our party. No, no. The amount will lose election and you lost election lost. This election defeat. It's a resounding defeat. And
Exactly.
you are defeat.
Exactly. And you know,
defeat.
And no,
it's a problem. No one call Congress. Muko elective flag bearer. And no, man, why confused.
Sebi nyo obakufo na nanani abrewa. Nyansa nso ni bakufo team. Penifo na akotena si wo party nim se sebi akwan we ni efa so a ye party no ebedi yi. E kan tete ni ye sebi National Executive Council enye body kitwa o. Enye body kitwa e wo party nim penifo atoto wuro a omo di party na chi National Council ye wo MPs omo di bida ye wo chairmen sa omo di bida all the elected positions any omo aya appoint to omo da omo nyina na akotena se and you say adwene we na party no ye nko that direction. Maybe president say we made it be a champion a party not take that decision we should go with it. Say ye nim say e be ma sunduaba na party no benya hoden nyakoto aba na yi executives omo de do mo ko da achen e beboa ama party na timagina na so and no ye it if you say na say na confusion sabi wo ye won dro na sabi wo de atieja ye na anye yi a sabi utimi fan sanson na ne e de ye e mane ye fun kaka duro sabi enye baako ene ye de ye enti no ni nyina no eboa e ma our democracy no ye building it solidly and going forward. Now as a political party I've told you say MPP ye Democrats, you believe in the rule of law, you believe in if you say top down approach, if you say bottom down approach, if you say up down approach, you know, ma kebima mi kebina na ye no. If ya na na for we have confusion. Obi tene dia na wan wa kana dwene. Na we tu de ne dia fa. Nti wi ase no, ye dia pumasi bre. E na woni MPP ade ba ko.
Issue ni say.
Eboa yen. Ade ba ko.
Wa me who yi bia wan kasa wa kasa president mama the way o deliver yi. Ukra una mana wa fere. Nya wona anko kan sa asem no.
Ede asem me kan no wan ti ase. I never say so. Go and get the tape. Masema me kan any say. Seminam na amanfo ba me nchen. be catch ye koto aba no amanfo ba me nchen a omo se afia very important to tie nie pa omo me nchen omo se uzu bempa ade ba ko e haye pa ye de ko koto aba we a ye businessmen any businesswoman dollar monchi dollar de mai na mo catch re se mu de mutimi chi dollar no lock no e de ama IGPD keys apo enti monchi dollar no mai o ti de me jona se na se me da ko sori anopa na Ghana photo abetia na NDC a na ye say mama ye incompetent ne dollar no tina tia ba form na omo businessmen ne be ka je so ye ka kire say monchi dollar on se nkofo e monchi dollar na ma ferry and I will say it ma ferry na me ferry thing evia eti journalist body omo ko choose man na fia nya no kre me ozu ba mi obi a mi twa nto asem nye ho say na me a che bitirimo
na fia wa dia to back no kre say mo
na ye tie de ma ferry ni say je Kufuor ye papa Kufuor o tia bemu as a president ye ni the only political party $80 million e ko 1 to 1 me ame of akojo ban redu they brought dollar to 1 to city to 1 to dollar to 1 to dollar me wa yeah party yeah na sabi sutia ye sabi ma mansan e de juju ni su komano ene ofiamo de anu aka e sutine ye muna amansan sabi de juju o musu komano ene ofiamo de anu aka e MPP amanyoko na me fere say e dia asem na wo kan enti edu level bi amomi enka no kura nkire ye ho no kura ni bi na president Kufuor kan onu je Kufuor on na etimi chi dollar e ma ne ye 1 to 1 e o Ghana na ne party e dia ba ba mu na eduru bre bi ni ye onkrofo bi kan say ye betima chi dollar gina ho nenne ye tima anchi na amanfo dia ebi so businessman be ka kire e na munye dollar yi o munye dollar dia to abawe na dollar no anchi anye yi na say ene omo aye from so be incompetent omo tima chi dollar no ama dollar no so tina me the cradle of it here, you know, very. You go over the catch them.
Which is why you are choosing to be in Kent's camp because
no, listen, the point that I'm making is that there are so many things that the ordinary Ghanaian are saying. Nyamena make town. Ghana for neka.
They need a different choice.
Ghana for neka. Nyame Ghana for a move to Japan. I'm going to buy a better banana. You have them right.
About 2 million or man to no
yes. And now ordinary floating voters will walk on to about. That's what they say. Obusa there was a papa ne do a disciplinarian no or no dear or kase say ni say ya we ni ma me no kra na ya de obeyi wadi ye hia sa leader no Ghana o wi anu asan ka kire o say businessman or create jobs. These are me see me come mechi a me hunda. If you these are some of the things that me tin o maso.
Nanya Kennedy Japan, yeah. Okay, first and foremost, also as a national executive officer, we were him say work. That's also where a binums what problem say. And can you neutral? And penny for na more strong there because we are national executive. And think you neutral.
Evia, ye party top hierarchy. Omo obi a chere na bi. Your MPs and other MPs so they no munye neutral. And the one is no MP speak go gina okoye press conference on my end also Dr. Bawumia. Oman go. Yempamo free the party ni mwana. I totally disagree. Me no mo ya adwene to omo ko kire omo declaration. What is wrong with that?
Okay.
There's nothing wrong with that. We have district chief executive former DCs omo ye ka omo hold sensitive positions abanye omo ye na bi na ko declaration na ebi no so omo anye bi so omo aye no. A democracy, yeah, try again. Oh, just me for me the other day, me will feedback and me will empirical evidence. Maybe experience. I'm a student of research. Maybe experience, and I'm there because of here. This is what they are telling us.
Hello. Well, you're also been paying a freezy, but also no, they doesn't see anything wrong with or best support any natural. But admit it, say on one or can also no, admit it, say. Or admit it, say MPP for to be $100. So in terms of the exchange rate in the failure, and because of that failure, and you know, of course, on the core ground, and yes, what he even feels, or see core ground, a lot of people are saying, say, omope, obia or wakukudro, obia obeti made discipline, obia obeti made a year first saying, obey Juma, I'm a partner, and that's what person is Canadian Japan. So they also in any Canadian Japan. There's nothing wrong with being on Canadian Japan side. No, see, there's no confusion. MPP4 is a party that invites everybody. So beyond Canadian, any confusion. But obi the abronye he cannot speak to that issue. So that's also bempa no only position or cancel. So let's go back, because in this camp wake camp no about tension, because just 2 days here I'm early congress. The kind of commentary I'm I am just here. Come question about ask him to tell us something about CJ issue, no, but also bempa your point because we're in a freeze here.
I've worked with the vice president, I've worked with Brian Champon, I've worked with Honorable Kennedy Japan. They are all fantastic leaders. I'll meet me, but they're Ghana for. You see, go and listen to Musa Dankwa. And the Musa Dankwa, your research or not here, and some of our tea political science.
And you Musa Dankwa semiana religion bemuno.
Me politics are religion, ethnicity. I don't want to entertain it. Me one of those people. I'm very biased. Even if the evidence proves say me mfanye juma. Because sebi ye nyina no brewa ba ko na nana ne. Me ko jina baby go use tribal and the year against my opponent because of political expediency. I won't do that. What you say? My catch say Dr. Bawumia na ye fu say ye de ne kwa obinya tumi amaye. Ye call ye no enyoma bibrewa ani aboa no. What you say? And na ye reject ye. And na Ghana for no ba omo a ebi o nyum no aba no abusa o. Ade wo osu bempa wo na wo kasama MPP si say ne pen nipa we na mo de ne ba ye beto aba. What you say? Every day this keep coming back. Yeah, I would have wished I would send correspondents undercover, take them to all the strongholds, especially in Atlantic region. Take them there, take them to Eastern region, take them to Western region, take them to Greater Accra, and listen to what the ordinary people are saying. Okay. It was shocking. When it was America, the media, even the Republicans were vilifying their own Donald Trump. And the media was vilifying, but the American people were thinking Donald Trump no amudi na tem. It didn't make us say we are Bawumia supporter. Na say ufu so be use negative propaganda against Kennedy Japan say and no na be ya ufu Ghana for crabo. And their research amaye ba no. They don't care about that. Nipa no betima creative jobs amaye. No betima really power amaye. No the discipline member system. Kennedy Japan actually say ni ma me ba no kra na ya de na nyo be kana dwena chiro.
But people say so no one can cross on your discipline. Have you heard that too?
No, how do you clarify by discipline?
People have cited this comment, maybe say be a reckless.
Listen, you know what? Sebi, your society when okano that's how they see you. But to me, that makes Kennedy Japan a unique personality. Don't you think so? Go and check the philosophers in the world. Great, if on writing political theory, no. Every great leader be that character trait of Kennedy Japan. Craziness, a little bit of craziness. Winston Churchill got it. Adolf Hitler got it. Your friend is Putin here. Go and find out. You go to those leaders. We are saying great leaders. Napoleon Bonaparte. Go and find out about their character. Even in the Bible, great leaders. They have a little bit of craziness in them. That makes them unique. Kennedy Japan has that kind of unique leadership. Ebedru Brebino, Ghana in discipline, I say your mind society to the extent say this man can get up in the morning and say, hey, remember example, Ghana Gas. He was a board chairman in Ghana Gas. You know what happened? One morning he got up in the morning, to Ghana Gas office 5:30. Okay, Japan now 6. Now I can say no, Juma, Bebre no managers ni Bebre by 9 o'clock. Peshe action is see what Ghana Gas. He didn't tell anybody. Me obiari me say madam for no. Me be do 10 o'clock. He asked me to go back home.
Oh,
me na make go and find out there in Ghana Gas. Me can't throw bia be This is the kind of man that we want. Oja neba nana techi kofa car. Ne car or they call and na police for chain no. Police for chain no no friend papa say papa ne Kennedy Japan. Oko friend no. Na ne papa say or say I will be answer the also police for chain no say they road worthy. No say road worthy other one or so daddy was there. But out there nana techi. Or say on find police for or say Mumfanko police station. Na Mumfanum famra kwafo. This is Kennedy Japan for you. Mumfanum famra kwafo. Na deal with him. And this is what the Ghanaian people are saying. Mami phobia, mami phobia market. They told me plainly. Say papa ne die on your kanu grow, ne no kenti. Ne no kenti.
Okay.
Japanese. Oti ase papa ne die wo bia dwuma magana fo eni bia ye enti sa papa we ye pen eno nya me na make am. This is the message from the ordinary. Papa ba akokra de say Kennedy Japan who say every Ghanaian society bia no, every individual bia can see themselves in Kennedy Japan. Why? Because he has what PK that offer Saint Dumping primary school and no person call a friend is saying
Adisadel College. There are probably people who are like that.
Meba Adisadel College, we auto PK no acquire boga go kukom, boga for you the way or America could treat taxi. We oba Ghana no obey Juma baby Numa and Ghana for you. So everybody can see themselves in Kennedy Japan. So such a man, if you give him the leadership of this country, you can never toy with him. And no cabinet meeting who bond up. So who Kennedy Japan people were hailing President Rawlings. Me and papa say why he was the disciplinarian. They man for can Rawlings a time and cabinet deciding who we. And people see that thing in Kennedy Japan cabinet meeting. Now minister you say amount deadline say koya the road bia the contract amount say koya oh one yeah na fe duru on timelines media can once Kennedy Japan be flower catch you say stay where you are. Don't come to the office again.
Because there's also there's a thin line between being disciplined and going into excesses, being rude, being abusive.
It's not abusive. There's another. Listen, we were all in this country. You live in the greatest democracy in the world. You saw Donald Trump seen this guy, what's his name? Ukraine president and attacking him in the full glare of the general public. Said, Natalia or the bad White House grandly. In our part of the world, can you say that? We rude. But this man had the guts to tell somebody's country president to say, Natalia or the bad White House grandly, please. On one vice president, she socks with your hair and socks. Say, what kind of socks are you wearing? You see, but here you have your funny say a bibia say uka ubi na uka wajnia.
Donald Trump not to say your standard and to
but we have a lot of we have and amateur say great leaders be braba. At the America democracy now team now the democracy. He's handling America as the most powerful man in the world. How handle America? I mean, can't say Donald Trump is our Trump card. What I'm saying is that America you can never underestimate the mindsets of the new Gen Z voters. And the BS sounds as they took off me a nice guy, me a say, when I can say, me a cool, a fear poker cannot
cancel my BB on CJ because I want you to explain to us the Ben Ambeko Congress. What decided? Do you have a date? And I'm undecided. Into my council battle, my good evening. Person also been my side date. Besa Obemansa. Hana way no microphone off. Bacho, good evening.
Good evening. I hope to be able to
Bacho Yankopando, yeah.
Yeah, Yamiase. Michio also been pass.
No, so. Never Besa Busa about CJ issue, no. Is there a problem in the press conference? No? Any issue where I be?
Okay. First off, I don't know, from the onset up to now, say Ghana, we have gotten ourselves to this state. Number one, let's all celebrate it. Say it's all a good thing. Ghanaians needed some change of a sort. And the second coming of Mahamano, now it was in order. People needed that change badly. But Empire Nanka me bopa ne say Nka His Excellency Mahama Bayano. Nanka obefa some element of this Burkina factor. No. Na many Japan so invited Burkina president. If you say, when maybe did that year, your listeners, viewers, I am part of the change era. And the BIA Bompire said the way we keep on doing things in Ghana, especially our politics, should change. And we are tired of this usual and daily MPP, NDC battle. Now, and then me call Mitiel in life, but later no me call social media no. Now, Messiah film. It means the youth are not learning anything. Kwala na ye bana ye nsuahwe. Ya dream na ye MPP, NDC, MPP, NDC. And to the mere fact say we are NDC, just say your leaders can be correct. Once we are in MPP, leaders can be correct. And then the share your trim. Me say when Madame Charlotte say issue nearby, fanso no on your judge, but also no as a easy nationwide. She was the head of that institution, and to the way a man some of us were not happy. But you see, and that's what I'm saying is not until we handle the root cause of our problem, this thing will continue rearing its ugly head every now and then. Osha, in the build up to the 2016 elections, now some comment to be so Madam Charlotte say was not in good taste to the MPP as a party. And to almost know why your margin say Mami we umpire some. Do you get it? More so when JM had appointed her. And that is why Binomono said some key positions in Ghana here are not supposed to be appointed by the president.
I agree with you.
Why president? Bawumia is who name me. And with my legal background, so be a attorney general. You see, and I be a what the same party. Fancy me what party no appointed me. Will I do your bidding first? And I Ghanaians na medri. There's no way I will leave you the president and the party down and go and think about opposition or Ghanaians. It doesn't work out that way. And the issues about attorney general, issues about the chief justice, issues about the EC, and even the speaker of parliament should not be nominated from the presidency. Oh, because yes, then we are coming back to square one. Because also say adopted democracy. Oh, and then there is supposed to be separation of powers in some area. But over this separation, from the onset, you defeated the whole purpose.
Yep.
Why should the president be involved in the nomination and appointment of the CJ? Why should the president be involved in the appointment of somebody who is supposed to be attorney general and then justice? And then also the EC. We are not angels. We are human beings. No be on no appointing me no. Meminda mechi. Na me inquire the burden of the other people. It doesn't happen. The same situation now. Madam Charlotte was saying, no, woman, because of the dirty politics we have in our country. Ebisuna is too CJ. Now, CJ had done her job creditably up to the few months to the election. So we are making so there was there was an internal issue between the minority leader now, who was the majority leader at the time. And then
the issue, and yes, I issue.
You see, and unfortunately, the honorable Speaker of Parliament, Aban Babin, took a stand, and it didn't work out well for the majority leader at the time, and it became personal matters between the Speaker and the majority leader. And when the majority leader sought to take the matter up to the Supreme Court, CJ and there were some ruling. Speaker no crano, in the open or kind of public or parliament or so okay or no yen speaker or and then CJ or me speaker.
Indirectly. Power battle between
Yes,
parliament and
power, of course. I don't know how we are, Speaker, we CJ na lucky. Oh, because that time not tension, because the whole of the NDC MPs, they felt to say, you Swedru issue, as an opportunity to reduce the numbers in parliament. What me I say? Until now they were held bent say this is what must be done. Oh, now we're no more so one side of it. And how do you call parliament? We call Supreme Court. Omoma ruling, almost say okay. Once CJ no presiding in Kwande, Mami we are born out. And in the rest of their campaign messages, now it was, I mean, it was obvious. Some this is what is going to happen. And our supporters and also the Omo Jim. And to be a victim of circumstances. Are you getting it?
But CJ needs to resign because her position is on battery.
Okay, only the end by law, no. She can't even resign. The Embrano doesn't permit her to resign. She could have done that earlier. But no when committee, you set your almost start your money and then they own to me. But me feel say actually so embuye. What me I say? O platform I they listen. Who appeal passionately to JM and then the leadership of NDC. Oh, and your man sometimes in the tier supporters in Ibibria. Good legacy and can you believe, Bombs are your man way na abefrofra. Now look at Madam Charlotte said up to date. People are still blaming Nanado. Oh, so we victimize it Obi. So every now and then they bring it up. And I will plead passionately with the president of the day and the leadership of the NDC in Kebayokra on one casan for Muhunjim. Nanka CJD or believe some bad legacy. Because this will be the first time in our history. Our CJ Chief Justice of the day was Ankoyo Obaso Akaho Yadenafa such a. But you see, technically, if you go into it, I can tell you on authority. We have friends at the bar, lawyers, yeah, friends amongst ourselves. The same friends, that judges near there. We talk every now and then when we meet ourselves. Omunina discusses CJ Yadi, any politics, share the allegations I had the money. But Kukra, Niwa, so I strong. Do you get it? Nyanka strong pa woman ke betumi anya no ne bana ya se one na etu kwan ba no so kan no mo se sa dia ene sanka speaker abamba be so onu po de ne house yes de ne house helps ne we ne na se for dia de so tu kwan but adia ya me den say or highlight in her press conference say next can year 14,000 or something.
No, so
used to 4,000 and all returning more than necessary or the 9,000 plus na this if ya why you say and can make me feel at least your man some credit to be kakra. What me I say? Because I know most politicians who's ask away you no mass return you.
On
Or by your budget no super pepe mana covers 14,000. And you see, why a Jumano 30 something years. Oh, Yanti asem bonibia and fano all this number of donkey years in until sa issue involving the speaker and honorable affair marking. I didn't also call Supreme Court ruling no so no kwanso no de mayo. And I born no too. But you see, politics once our politics bebamuno. We are then cry quite the whole quite near now. Ya bepe quite be so na ya pebi be the at. But me a coming qua law or no law no. Oh, nka we ye bibia nka mpanyfo no be hu say wan sada nye bibia e chine so a ye betumi e use so e dey against no. Another school of thought so lawyers and judges in me personally I have had the opportunity to discuss with most of the people at the bar and at the bench. They are also surprised the body language of her own colleagues at the Supreme Court. What do you mean? I said, yes. You see, it's like as if say be most position
nasa Ghana de.
Wow. Enti yeah can assembly follow no. Rather no abaye opportunity for them also to also drown you the more. Yes, there's a premier fancy case. Crucify her. And no I don't know, I escalate as I am sure will be setting a very bad precedent because with the discussion that we have, is if you obia who are some even those are the Supreme Court and some other areas, obia so bet me sorry say yes, let me write a petition against this person, against that person. But people have overlooked them. So the question is that other than a way idea, munipa.
Where you are no say that it's more political than legal.
And that is why I may appeal to the president and the leadership of the NDC, Sanka, we shouldn't go further with it because say a kobayan and kwaye bibi substantia we buo man gusua. So we could discabi or baby. And now wakwaji bribe bibi or baby or man ruling. Contrary to what we all expect of her as a chief justice anyway near dear. And then a clear case and go behind my year numpo. Oh, by fans, oh, yes, we by competition by course in the case be and I am my transfer. I'm a different. Oh, it's a fear. You see the point?
Transfer, so of course, they are judges are transferred all the time, but my main found jumping up because in Kofo, one to person cast my main found jumping by MPP for the MUD, no, who to be pack. I say, a normal, you what not?
The pass, open myself. The pass, what do you mean? Remember from TV. Say, citizens. Now, okay, previously, even though we needed change because I'm in Kofo fees, Nana don't know Bushi for no. For minus me myself, I wasn't also happy. What me I say, and so we all wanted change, but now would have wished to say Sanka MPP 4 year changes. Last year election see, and no more honorable kind opportunity pass if you pay speed on Ghana Bekon and Kabokina crown tree. I'm telling you for a fact because that time that the Ghanaians were just fed up with the usual way of NDC, MPP politics. So they needed, in quotation marks, somebody with some bit of a touch of madness. Wow, I don't charism like Obi or tough pa. Onononka, we need nipa kra, ni fie nipa ni party, ni party, and all these qualities. Nanka nipa befit nipa honorable Kenya Japan. Our bank and then can speak me ye GD say. Speedy pan called your man Becono. And I forfeit to ata. Anyway, yes, a man proposed
and you're contesting a when delegates now.
The powers that be, the establishment, everything. Nanado was a president too. The family members
against Canada, Japan. Is that what you are saying?
And then also to send America CJD, my example. Even his Ken's own MPP MPs. But some of us saw they saw him as threats. What do I say? Omunim pass Jumani the Enka Ken obey. Enough for vote pass so the Enka Ken the vote in the Baba. Because we share all the factors, all the negatives were against Dr. Bawumia. What do I say? Because Mama was contesting from the north, and I also contesting from her. Mama has more experience than we, and then Dr. Bawumia too. Na do ni negatives ni na yadefua Bawumia. He live in us. Me bibia baba bia Bawumia na yadefua yadefua. And they were like contradicting no bebre. It is like the person the MPP saw to market already you are discrediting in the public domain. What do I say? And they first say, BB extraordinary BR. So they first said to be a continuity or continuation of what Nanado was doing, and people didn't like it. They wanted Nanado to be out of the scene completely.
Okay.
Wow, and then they saw also.
Early Congress here almost suggests that the solution. The
No, I know that you are still creating the impression, say, and people were not in approval of no. The impression was created, said the establishment wanted a certain candidate over the rest of the candidate. Then which means they still want to remain in opposition because some MPs were also kota Bawumia. Do you get it? And you know already, when we saw a lone ranger. Did you get the point? Okay. And some of the voters were also rooting for Honorable Kennedy Japan. And who use state resources, who use leadership against Honorable Ken. So people were like, okay, you can have your way now. Go and choose your candidate. Do election in Uswa. No matter say, campaign, mama. Okay. And true, that is exactly what happened. Do you get it? And now you have come back again, and your body language hasn't changed. Your posturing hasn't changed from the national level leadership. So the ordinary voter is also watching and seeing, say, from the party headquarters, they are still rooting for Bawumia. Do you get it? And then the same MPs who also came out openly, publicly said, we are also rooting for Bawumia, have come out to somewhere last week. Number 60 something. They are also rooting for Bawumia. So imagine what would be the state of the grassroots. Yeah. And then the voters, the people who are going to vote to MPs.
They will be protesting against our MPs, no choice, no.
Exactly. Okay. It's like we are still forcing somebody we don't like on us. Okay. You see, that is the impression they are creating. And the MPP, the fortunes of the MPP. And I'm so surprised they are not taking lessons. Mianka, as soon as there were objections, I'm actually early date in sign. Then I go by the normal thing, as it happens all the time. So that those are the grassroots, all other stakeholders will not entertain anything can say. What may I say? The establishment is still lingering around. They still want to impose themselves on us. Okay, this is what they still want to. Then at least someone will say you are listening to the other people also, and not like you are still imposing.
Very well, Council. Mami now I appreciate you know time and so you're very busy.
What if Mama maintain and reaction kaka.
It's also a tough
guy. If you are a tough guy, but the fair federation I'm a born abaso, a banner Ghana democracy, through thick and thin, also play key role. You're reforming the laws of this country. You know, it is very difficult for people as him to come public. And speak on certain crucial and critical matters. In this era of ours, careful, NDCA, Betral, MPP, Betral, so in times like we need tough. From both sides, both the MPP and NDC, to also guide and then straighten the system. But bomba say Bianca one day, Babano, Nanka, MPP and NDC, then we have a unitary sort of government. Fighting the other group now for 4 years and thereon. Anyway, we are still in constitutional reforms and reviews. So let's see what happens.
We pray so. Nano, Professor H. Pempebeka say when we were asking about say Mahama bet me another 4 years, so say 2 terms and one was hopefully that issue will be settled. But also when we decided on dates, no. Modebeko Sam early Congress, we decided.
Communicating about one thing is out here. I think 30th or 31st of January 2026. I think so. And if anything and Chingia. I think that will be the Congress to elect the flag bearership of our great party. Na itu akotwe de atwere na de ebesi anya esi awie na afi yapem akoyanim. Enti no obia ye ne de ye wish obia well. They are all great intellectuals or more party ni mo ye obia akonyato MPP mu odihye bia ufosa uju hu di root me pray akonya. Eno ne ekos mi o. Eti no sebio me audition na me ochia me wo party ma me wodi me pe no enye boni me ba bonti abeka enti maka se honorable Kennedy Japan na Ghana for say ye de ne ba umbeto enti eno de eno nkire se makogina ba bia akoka brand champion fine fantastic young gentleman
let am know second one too because
they say fantastic young gentleman Dr. Bawumia fantastic intellectual omu nyina say adutu educationist such a year or you good oba befa a year back your can we are me of a community Japan politics no dimu agotene omu nyina yeah we have the men MPPOB but the Ghana for say yem fanemra a ombeto no ono ne yede beko na Ghana for atọ
you it's also my mama no ase say na only ajetwe nkomo all this while me that no yeah that's baby also on the onye ebone or Ken side then you will not hide it our Ken Mr. Janice MPP chairman or DC but unu abe me yegina so Alex John mami tie o na me call Mr. Asabediakon because ono ye MPP chairman so I wanted him to Mr. Asabediakon person or kata about whether early Congress is a good strategy because muni anu NDC for cry no as am I confused. This is a very ill, it's not a well thought out decision. In the meaning, Mr. John, Obetu Borma, Mr. Asabedia Konya comment so that you can get your full time to speak. Why? And Mr. Asabedia comment you when they say that a well thought out decision, some early Congress decision, what do you say?
Yo, if you are for conversation, share when you want to tea for, but I'm not saying,
yeah, Tonkapa.
Yo, Michia when you tea for, ne, also been panning the other guest or Kasai lawyer. In some, you know, much or much when you may be brave. So, but once again, my chair, where my way, a quite shape be and go for to you. And as I always say, you're contributing to the democracy of Ghana and to your boy Basso Sekoso and you've proven to one of the platforms at the social warding in MPP, in NDC, in PNC. You feel say quite dano, you know what you're warding. I think that is what we need in order to progress in our democracy. Yo, just as some busa, I mean, one say a cool beer, you were running the edge, man. What you say? You know, Embrana, I'm a couldn't edge, man, and also with this. Sometimes I'm running in favor would be what you say. I can even give you an example. You man more NDC. So Bekaya time and this for ye Haruna name if you on position. No, there was a lot of chaos in the party. A lot of people tell say, "Oh, you're quite not some person ye." Adam your man ye. But Omujina was a party first. That was the best decision at that time, and they moved forward.
Okay.
Nothing was wrong. Nothing was stopping them as a party to do that. They hadn't broken any laws. They were following the mandate of the party. What I say, it's MPP ABB. As long as you're not breaking any laws, no. They've met, that's what the party has made. Idea we say na ya ebe boy. What I say, into yen first account we say so. What I say, and almost you yen community be boom rebias. They just for 10 changes. You could have been saying in the past, this is how we did things and it worked for us, or it didn't work for us. But in this dispensation, we think this is the best thing to do. Change is not popular, it's not popular. Go ahead and pay change. People like to stay with the status quo because that's what they feel comfortable with. But sometimes change can be progressive. What I say, I always say is that judge the food by the end result. Yeah, I can assure you, change. When I say the next election, or more criticize that decision, they'll be the first people to come and claim part of it. They can be the change. Yes, our decision. No, I don't subscribe to the fact so a good and not good. Let's justify, the result with the end result. That is what I would say.
Okay, but people say they are cracks. So what Muluzu election interview, what admit say strategy was not the best. A form horny are the executives from region constituency, national, there are issues. It's our issues. What happened in Mo? Thank you to Yamukatemu. Confusion everywhere. And then I won't deal with those issues before you jump to early Congress.
You, if you have, as much as me, that was possible because I was going to come to it. What is it? Also, if there is any problem, you want to deal with the fundamental issue. Me, I'm a TA, so my opinion. Some of the things that caused our defeat was primarily one, the perception of Nanado. As whether you go focus in attitude, a lot of things. For me, that's one of the main issues. Two, some of the behavior of our appointees. But I say, some of our elected officials. But I say, also cause the problem. And if you talk to most people, they also talk about the delegate system. But I say, in terms of her party, I say, oh, any MP expanded delegate system, any MP, because people this is the root cause of the problem, of the party's problems. It's not about top down or bottom up. But I say, whether you do we do the top down or bottom up approach, if you don't solve the basic fundamental problem, when you're ashamed. So where I say from the first thing is to be able to solve that problem. How do you solve that problem? And non my party ne say, Namia Adma July 19th, Yabako Niako Bobo, proposals about. So I'm going to decide
next month, yeah.
Next month, July 19th. Don't go propose because okay, Yanto Bani this day. Okay, to be top down proposal by as we stand right now, the only thing that you need to say about this date. But that's whether the proposal that the party is going to adopt, nobody knows.
Okay.
But there are suggestions. No, go to what you comment. I'm going to because I'm going to no this is me by a but the decision making is going to be on July 19th.
Okay. It's not something that is okay.
There's not even made a decision as a party. There are proposals. Okay. That is one thing. Okay. But I'm assembly we are same way. So, but sometimes I say you have to address the fundamental issue. For me, I think that is where we need to start from. And I support community point analysis on this because CNC delegate system is a problem. Because a lot of people are pushing for one man, one vote. So it may more beyond to then people realize, there might be some constraints because at the end, how do you even identify that all these people are coming to vote are even MPP? But then this is what tribunal they also have some issues. So there's a lesson learned in there, right? So basically, now the school of thought, which I think it makes sense and I support that is the verifiable and the MPP people. Let's allow all of them to vote. If it is a former appointees, former DCs, what I say, your MPs, former to the current executives, then you're going to have a verifiable database of people that can vote. What I say, which is what that's something. Then because I am medicine, I'm going to say about own opinions, which we are all going to discuss on July 19th and come up with the best solution for the party. But maybe someone say, what is going to happen is you're going to have an expanded database. I become somebody was even talking about said you come back to 2014, we got about 1 million people. As compared to about the 240,000. Exactly. So you are going to cure the fundamental problem of the party because this expanded database is what is going to make a decision.
Okay.
What I say. So it doesn't matter whether they're making a decision from a top up or a bottom down approach. Okay, that is one. So who expanded database now making where you capture all these former executives now? What I'm even proposing to even go further and then say in the Siaba constituency, right? The expanded database at the constituency level, number 12. Near few constituency executives near number 12. Is that expanded database? So over regional, that expanded database at all the constituencies at that region, number 12. What I say? Then you go to national. International will be a hand picking of what's number 12. So the fundamental issue that needs to be addressed is the expanded database. It's not about a top-down or bottom-up approach.
You are saying, we are doing presidential candidate to whom?
Even with that, what I'm saying is since July 19th is when you're going to decide on the database, that is the discussion because and only before the elections anyway.
Okay.
So the focus should not be even on the date.
Okay.
So all we know is
database.
Exactly. We are going to vote on the expanded database on July 19th. That should be the premise.
Okay.
So now I'm going here. Now the date go set election date when they ends of BBR.
Okay. So why is it that conversation in Dani about candidate on Bekonia there? Once you throw that out there, because 2 weeks I've seen that attention in now shift wake up. So why that? When we say the issue is the fundamental issue about the expanded
database. My opinion, right? I would have wished we would have solved this expanded database issue even before the data had come out. But as I said, it's a democratic party.
Okay.
And then my opinion, I'm just the other school of thought that went out there because we had a neck that met. And they thought in the wisdom of the innocent, knowing would have solved this expanded database problem, And we also want to make sure that whatever candidate comes out of this process, has enough time to be able to market himself to Ghanaians.
Okay.
All those things were part of the decision-making process.
Mm.
But I can feel say, okay, we answer. But I thought the other school of thought that also made sense. And it's a democratic dispensation. What I say, I think they went ahead and they did that. But for me, it's a non-starter to even think about the date. The focus should be a discussion that all party members said. Then expand the database now. About capture enough people so we have an organic candidate to come out of the process.
Okay.
Because whether it's top down or bottom up, we need an organic candidate. That is the key. Do you
know who the organic candidate is? Why? Because new faces this one by racing Educhum, Brian Tampon. So who is the organic candidate? So
the organic candidate would evolve out of an expanded database. And that's what I'm trying to tell you, sir. And your data was about 1 million. That's 1 million. You are more likely to get a more candidate is much more likely by the party because you have a greater database, a greater base. That is how an organic candidate is going to evolve. Than us trying to keep the status quo of a few people making a decision for that many people.
Okay.
So the bigger the sample size, the better the data that comes out of it.
And are you against MMDC and MPC endorsing Bawumia? Because so far, I say MPC in the more Bawumia, and I'm like, Mobusa Ghana for na can some Bawumia. And obviously, you're pecking Mobusa Ghana for no some. I don't even know why this is an issue.
So and
what do you feel about Sadiano?
Me, I think so. Even the party has even communicate about it. I think so. As not even as chairman, as a leader in the party, we really shouldn't be. And this because the party really should communicate. I don't think so. It's right now for people to come out to say, you endorse this person, endorse this person. Yes, I understand people have free will and they can express their own opinions, but especially leaders in the party, we need to be circumspect in some of these decision-making process. Therefore, we say whoever comes out, will have to come back and also heal the party. What I say, if you're a leader leading a group of people, you're leading a constituency, a region, but I say you don't want to be the one that is bringing divisions at this point in the game. You want to be the one that is a unifier. I don't really support parliamentarians about constituency about we are supporting this candidate, we are supporting that candidate. But these are issues that come up in elections, so it's something that you have to brace ourselves to deal with. But personally, I don't think it's the right thing to do.
Okay. Mambusa, last one, which is the it's on if Mahama doesn't perform well. But 4 years here, Mahama, I think he's also started on a good course. And if he continues, like I said, also been packers or no crow who see, any dollar, mocha, some much 8 years more to me and once na crama to me and say Mahama deliver. Na Sahamo strategy and we in a beton sumo.
If you have
Mahama pick you be also nibedi na dia ni pakron be winning.
If you have
Mahama doesn't deliver.
If you have, whether you are NPP or you are NDC or PPP, whatever party that you belong to, it's always Ghana first. That should be your basic mindset. Sir, if Ghana is going in the right direction, that is what you want. What you say? Mikai says over here at the time of MPP your power, right? Your first term. There was even a time that there was even a World Republic said the city was the strongest performing currency in Africa. What you say? But getting to our second term, things happened. I'm not going to judge Mahama's performance. I'm sure you start your first because in your opposition.
Okay.
But so I'm not going to sit here and make something say Mahama is going to. I know his track record, but I'm not going to wish him bad because I'm a Ghanaian first. At the end of the day, I want to see our economy improve. I want to see industries. That's what all majority of MPP people want. You're not wishing the country bad and say, see the cost na Ghana for $20 no, you're paying Ghana for a year.
Okay.
But you're going to be paying into your hopes, say, but do no. So what I say, Ghana for people say, okay, even say, because of maybe MPP at the two Korean. So I say, what is saying before you discuss, you say, oh, MPP for gold, I'm to be G and I'm the neighbor for mana. What I say, pump policy and PPP and airboa. That's what the discussion that we want. But people would see that these policies that we put in place is what is actually anchoring the economy. And that is the discussion that we're going to have with Ghanaians come 2028.
Okay. Chairman, Mami no ase pa for your time. That's baby say obeke home because chairman so busy. DC chairman Yera Janice asabedi akono ye MPP for chairman DC Metro. And then kasa and also bemba so also bemba confirm the chairman Kenya say 19th and on Beko meeting. So they haven't decided anything yet until Bia and Bajiri Bono they say there's nothing wrong in saying that only the Unimken or Tema. for he hasn't done anything wrong. On Kasentia Bawumia is a fantastic person, but Opeken. I think he's made from onset we're making a position. But you know, and Mr. Saibedia Kokasebeyanka, we are fair no see, but I know see or no so opinion. But John Basho Mamintio, good evening.
Good evening. Stefia Michao na echia etifu nyina. Da seni akonya eja ode amai. PP on the July 19th. Mpanyimfo kushia no ho suggestion yesu ye kakakra.
Ambacho, go ahead. Go ahead.
Ye pese yeso ye kachre e form 4 no so eni omudi nkoma kakra pese ye kachre mpanyimfo no se. I think say almost teaming coming out with a concrete decision making to build the party from the grassroots. So I'm also in support of the building, forming anything from bottom up approach, not the presidential election should start from the top ana bibisa. Intino kakra mekano na sisi no na sisi say MPP penyini former president Jake ebekasai na okasa deep obi a oti kasa bia no hu say party no as individualistic na omo echo na no so emwa party no na ensa amwa oman Ghana because the party is a mass party obi atimi chere na adwene enuti advice kakra de be mo say they should come down to the grassroots, heal the wounds na sabi omo etimi wounds wa omo ankasa create no they should heal these wounds to say the obabe sidan also here materials no na ade but say omo dan no musisi esi no dan no omo adwiragu nti e wo so omkwasa materials no omo bekeka bom na omo asesa afri form e de aba esro kakra mekan no medase
Brajon e dase bebre brase so bacho good evening bacho ndio
Boko me Tion Kachepa. It seems like it's a very long time. So first of all, I Melbo I also been power so with any observation after elections, or Nenam Ghana na man for approaching about Ken. I also experienced the same when I was in Ghana. Like I have friends that they are into business. They are into business, basically business. Aside business, they were all rooting for Ken. I was surprised. So it was like if he would have he was chosen. No, Mahama Kushiaka could have been a very tough fight between the NDC and the NPP as Ken being the flag bearer. That's what was on the ground because me call Ghana me am the man so to from now be here Ken but yeah, that's what I heard. He also been passed him now can like he makes no credit because I also went and heard the same thing. Those other people were advocating for change, but not in MPP no day. Now they were wishing saying Ken Ebeli Diomo, but it was unfortunate he wasn't chosen. So I'm not surprised with what Osu Bempa is saying. But we said no rooting for Kennedy. Me, I heard him saying it, and even with Mahama being able to stabilize the dollar. No, me share video no what do you call it Facebook and all case. He sometimes feel embarrassed or maybe he feel embarrassed with the way NDs were stabilize the dollar. No, cry money who the oka. Yeah, like Daniel and I was quite uncomfortable with him on that way. Inti with say Omo MPP try to go straight to flag bearership. I think it's not the right thing for the party. First of all, report now Omaye no after the elections, report and then move follow, normal building from the ground. Things have to flow organically. And almost ration because election time, you need to do election time, so you need to get time and fix yourself. It is said what the car what they can actually say no. Yeah, they feel like who display one. He says over here other things are we are not the sequence of the they go to break down along the way. I'm a bit surprised as I'm more rational more into choosing a flag bearer. And unfortunately, I mean Santi as I say they are still maintaining the executives now almost about last 2 years. So say no, Edema Bawumia now they are going to still
I think
maintain the,
time so time the best one I think next year number 2 about
so
change
so that's the important aspect. Say, as a from the constituency level, bottom up. That's how it's done. That's the structure. But how can somebody build the whole thing from the top to the down? Then means you are going to use the old executives to go to elections, and obviously we will know the outcome because we'll be any say last a year about me. So ideally it will favor Enema Ken and Crawford.
yeah, okay.
Favor them. Oh, to me, I think that they just have to go through the procedure. Yeah, Tuabano constituency, regional. Now, bar compensate to flag bearership. Now, yes, the person saying a party nepe. Now, omeyi the right candidate. Dance here, Russia, because yes, Anana is favoring a candidate,
One candidate, okay.
which is
I think,
not
like
good.
you rightfully said, that has been the concern of Ken and Crawford. And
Yeah,
say,
no,
advantage in Bekwama Bawumia.
exactly. And I don't know, organic. Oh, more
Okay.
allow to be beyond go by itself.
Okay.
They should their party in money panel. Oh, the grassroots in a pen on whom you know only the party no. And that's
Okay.
the more ration almost all year be just to for 2028 now. They will be embarrassed, the best shock you.
Okay.
And
I think one of the things that also almost we say even the Bawumia person, the office, they have to demystify it because still now Bawumia Nama, you can see the aura and the people around him. So I say he's behaving like vice president. He's no longer the vice president. So they must demystify that thing and break it. So also about the same level as everybody.
that's the
And yes,
problem with
it's also part of Asema now, making it look like us or yeah.
that's why you need to let things flow organically. Yes, you have 2 elections, there will be anchor, you solve issues. Anything on reports, our reports, they should go by it. Not problems that will no one solve it. No one but things go by itself. They don't need to rush themselves. Young battle, young family can battle. You will feel.
Yo.
And now with CJ, yeah, but can I have a little bite with the CJ
Oh,
issue? Just 1 minute.
In fact, the time no can so
Yeah,
but only 30 seconds because
exactly. Me CJ
if I
no.
bear for the wechi.
If you are CJ no, Onya Bonibia, why she should just stay silent and let the procedure go through? Like,
There be patriotic in the press conference or say, Omo man in Kasa.
if you
Yes, Oma Obi in the Uja and some more court to cry, district court to cry. So Ubetimiako with Obi Wabushi, more man in for Bianco. She has been forced to speak.
and if Emrana so say and some my question and see the better bedroom when the obey it's unconstitutional.
No. See. When you don't allow her to speak, that is the very first unconstitutional thing. Because Obi are accusing on our right to speak.
If you also she's telling us a commission on Martin to her, she's not giving opportunity to say the side of
But
the
that's what she said. Also, I'm a lawyer and Kasa. I'm more beyond the court.
It's very interesting because I don't know why. Because if there's opportunity, a big commission say, "Oh, Babeka on Numasem." Now you're calling man Kasa they are there. Now I don't think they are doing the right thing.
Yeah, because I don't think Obi intro. What on the lawyer call most of man lawyer and Kasa. That is a complete breach of natural justice.
No. So if when he goes to the what you committee now, what does he go there to do? That's
another question.
It doesn't be fine. Then I think we need to hear from the committee also. Almost side because it won't be that way. That the end course our way now, just like that. It won't be one-sided. That's not the natural law of justice. If you anticipate that's me for now.
I doubt if obey Sabah can't be without a good evening.
Good evening, Steph. You have to say
Adumara just way.
Many can cheer team can USA. Omo Juma pa Reverend Sax CNN and Omo Picon Dr. Banasco Munina. Omo boy Juma. First of all, no. Meka say idea end this MPP facing no. I wish you said you call a Congress now. They will do something about this president and the vice. To me, come on, amending it says president and who you vice now, term move you now, go with your vice president. Say, the way your constitution, mark, we won't go through what we are going through right now because to me, I say, Obakwa too greedy. Sana mihuno. What about 8 years running mate? 8 years in office, 16 solid years. Still, I want to take over the party. You know, your market for straight 16 years. You don't quite about no anfa. You know, and then now be argue with one of your sister stations said, Bawumia marketable. Near that, I'm a but I'm I was just listening. I'm Nipa ya oka say, did you really analyze things before they speak? As a ne, Nipa one ne kasa no, and I say, yeah, na eti na eti no. Yadri nyejuma. If you then a man Bawumia court 2012 or koka as you and I were not there. Akufo-Addo enya 49.7%, nearly close to 50 plus 1 now, or the be winning about. In some cases, they are seeing TSA because of my weir, and the man who could court. Echo fighting, ya say, Ekaibeba. Can you say the same, say 41%, you bit more good court? And TSA, you say, Akufo-Addo 2 times, 3 times, okay, the dynamics are different. Ya market too. Those days, Bawumia jina court to be a sort of pocket you and not papa, ya lunch watch it. And he said, all these years, now say still, you do a be him as a flag bearer. And the father said, your father said, you can't say, oh, Muslim candidate crowd here. You are going to whip all the northern part of Ghana and Abba MPP. And no crowd to crowd, Bobo. Zongo community, Bobo. It mean why I say, as leaders now, as administration now, you cram say, no more leader, no more you go fail. These same people now, as organizers say, you got to about from top to top down. Like I don't get minimally high MPP.
I'm gonna say a proposal. Omunya, umbeto so about July 19th.
In the first place, why do they even have to think about it? But
oh, that's when they are doing chair. Come to committee professor. Okay, committee. Ne, extra suggestions are. Unko for the buyer.
And say report no afia I don't know farmer public near obi anhwe wom why are they hiding
public deny na MPP and they offer you kasa
no make us a public I don't mean the whole Ghana but within MPP executives
now some people have the report when only be people have the report make I have snippets of the report yeah media for bebre will be
and I won't come and that
oh na obi asa MPP asa me national issues bread and butter issue bread and butter issue.
All that I will say is we need a president, not the flag bearer.
Okay.
That is the bottom line. We need a president, not your major goal is to win power. Flag bearer, they said but we need somebody who is easy to go. If you are call new chroma, not a new ejina wa aduane ado pepa na no na ode ma no ediko baby on na beiti on no ma ba nchen no aba no enti no ye kura kwadu no ye ko ado ikro bi ye kura kwadu mo se chentra ye fa apple na enko ho be da nya ado ni bi aku no
okay you obviously don't support Bawumia there but meaning say work inside
me work inside and
the right top to bottom ne there no mo there ni say won ye consensus there na ansa no ma ba soro
it's a say to from near the froba. Then Pastor Mami can't send back away, but Bawumia make them very profound comment here. I made them coming from him. Say,
comment.
Or he might be a poor but or rich ideas. Me Pastor, what Babamu 8 years?
There be no can't found who bang.
Rich ideas
and now rich ideas and no found who bang. I know that also he may be poor but rich in ideas. How hard is it?
The rich in ideas now you do dollar cover 17 cities. Rich in idea
was he the president? Was he the president? And another buying. Rich he was only a worker and another buying. But this is a different tenure. Can issue. So if you're rich in ideas, what ideas are also candidates here rich in?
He's part of decision making. It's not even because of president. Afia, what is the highest position ever? What Ghana after president, the vice president. Number 2 in Ghana. That's why I said number 2 in office. Like I said, who don't count there? What any office near there?
Okay, yo, yate.
Office near there.
But man, funny personal. No marketing. You don't expect Bawumia to come and talk against himself. On any day, to a bet on him. Also, back on candidate, number of candidate near Kono. I say you want to attack your opponent. No, candidate. Say also, I rating ideas are the ideas no, and to a Kennedy Japan yet. On only ideas near far better. That's how you market your candidate. Oh, Braco, good evening.
Stefia. Good evening. But I want to say,
I don't know.
Na me adome ho ya pa. There's an edge pa. I mean, we are Magana. Because I mean, continuously for more than decades, you are holding us down to give us a platform to share our thoughts on national issues and issues of importance to our country. Now, but you must start free. I just a bite on the CJ issue, no, and every time it do baby, I was emotional. So if that's what's happening at the committee, almost set it, education is and it also maybe before because we all right to fair hearing. And then say, oh, the Nipan say, oh man, access to the legal team, cry, and I say, once I man a chance, expressing, then there's no need for setting up the committee. If that's if that's the case, Omonye baby informed. Said the side of the story be I was no so bit me akama omo baby the ruling bedding ebeto. Yeah, because I think say I've chance on some of the petitions, almost all of them. My reading now in my candid opinion this and somebody be one of my and politics no more on a neutral grounds because it shouldn't even be considered in the first place. Yeah, but I mean a chroma something in there almost and just a bit on MP before Stefia and then I never quite me the pa say on my be school. I'm a patriotic institute, no. Yeah. I think say all the executives Obia should enroll on the school.
No,
communicators. 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 Obia first batch. First batch of enrollment of the school. Almost 30 school no. Because me to UK on. Anopa, I have to listen to what's happening in Ghana. So me tell the echo because me busu for me my miniamo. Just me TNS be okay. Then also maybe I want also like also better. And I've been listening to these people. Almost all of them, they need to enroll in that institute. Yes. Because anyone more say if say we are more there, so more to me enrolling say successful, the doctrines and the foundations upon which the party was built at. There are certain decisions, certain comments go on said the heat here because of party now. They will not even get to that stage. They will know how to deal with internal wranglings and stuff because okay, Victor Usumone Akutomo Rea Kutomone Omo Makane Omo J party nisi one now. Even coming down to 1996, I did present J Kufuor Osaba 2000. As far back as 1998, near the Meko rally, I was 7 years.
Oh, I see.
I was 7 years. I was with my dad. Or the Misha came near Meko rally. So that time Michelle constituency and Stika Baba MP no Stika the time I remember free Ghana over 2020. Yeah, you pushy agenda. But I mean it's fine. I mean it's politics, Baby will be a general, stuff. Yeah. And you fast forward, among school, no the doctrines upon which the party was, built.
Before and son of my catch a party full soldiers in the Momunko school.
Yes. Because
Wow.
so omunim say if they are well abreast with information now, Stefia Anka, they will not even in the first place say they will tilt the clock. I mean towards one particular person.
Okay.
You fear them.
Okay.
You fear them. I mean, I'm a famous uncle for say I'm a tourist in sociology. We have Charles Darwin. We have natural selection. Or not sure we or not sure better one. Anna, I may have Spencer. As so then the from where Charles Darwin yeah, no so better on the able to us. Survival of the fittest. Yenjai will be let the system run itself organically.
Okay.
Organically. And report now. Quick report to nearby. Fine. I know it cannot be made public because even though a public document, but as it stands now, no there. Also more dealing with suggestions name and some session for almost no more pumasibre na ebia in some time to come no. Na like almost the beba one time will be their course. And also honor. But my main focus is after raining in an almost sensi from constituency by constituency because we have research officers or constituency biano. They should just go down to the ordinary electorates in every constituency. No more conduct research. No more who say in the larger group. No, this is the preferred candidate, and I say we know more than because all the government machinery in the administration. No. They are still the same people who are hovering around Dr. Bawumia and Obias. Yes, Anna. Emma condition in healthy because already know it's the same thing that you did in the past, and we know the results that came out of it. Tonight now, most repeated the same thing. They shouldn't do that. Organically, and let's see how the outcome will be.
Good evening.
Good evening, Sophia. I
know you could break it to be, I think, a couple of months ago, but yeah, we're back that mom.
Okay.
So you
Maminka MPP for 1 kakra. I'm say omunsia from the past. Me omunsia in from experience mo. Because CCI Matthias is a proposition, but I don't see the reason how person we mo flag bearer and some mako yi asel there. Yemfio say even some mako yi candidate A. No omo makano, omo be national and regional executives no. Just in case omo na asesa. So omo number 2 about you. Even the majority was a son. What it means is we'll flag bearer no, and yet our favorite song to my first part no, and you're now on the edge, man. Like I say, Mathieu Nana B name other people say for unity. So somebody can select a trainer to unite, but unity name can it's not that easy. So we can say and until be able to join because some of the systems are kofodia or more. Sana see last time now on some person be saying so I think ideally they should just go by the normal way most active reform honor mass majority no me choose na assorted about so munya mo flag bearer it's 100% sure say he's the right person now for na penasem media I think they are making another big mistake but aside that I think in my opinion, I think Bawumia some concordance rest and Kebebo seriously. Kebebo
a whole new candidate.
Yes. On one case, say we they may rest kakra. So on because I think the last time the cry was a big mistake so quite because Nanadu negatives in have so this is another chance for him to just regain some dignity on and yes I think it's true party is behind him as we can see for now, but for his own good, I think it's better so or better kakra. Until the Mamenka Chief Justice once
okay. Yeah. Go ahead, Mamenka
Nina Akosisa constitutional amendment now I can't fit it now. I don't what is the status now, Stevia?
There was a previous committee of some Mills time no more. So the committee ni here Juma, but until there's a new committee headed by Professor H. Prempe. So they are working, but they've been sitting, they've been working. They've been working.
Okay.
I think then Juma. Nano Professor H. Prempe update to be by
they are working. Executive power is very important in that. I was committing focus on that part, conclude and once and on my other parts because it doesn't make sense say President bet you to EC I mean it doesn't make sense say Okobobo now you see referee. On says animal now if you are a statistic, I don't know, Charlotte say almost time say no have been MPP for so they are NDC for so they are because petition they say me I'm telling me Ghana ni bet me such petitions there be I say what I say inti semi politically motivated I'll do that and depend on the party in power they will react. So I think that we should really fast track that process say amendments they are too much. So I think that's all I'll say. It's because that NPP so bad. I'm sure some also they will try to get rid of the current CJ and I said EC. I say I'm Kwalabi the agroni the Ghana.
Say that again.
Yeah, some today.
Some no door soon. Oh,
yeah.
I mean now I say Kwandu. I mean, I see baby. Raz will come and know off but yeah, boy, I see the real people. No, we the real people. No, we don't need Ken. We don't need Ken. Class Ken the baby be and I'm a New York. So if you look at NDC and JDM, they have kicked all the way. JJ people. Okay, say JDM a pamo JJ Crawford ni identity. I say I can't on one Crawford and a womb. Raz, good evening.
Good evening, Sister Fia. I'm I want to say.
Bacha Adomaka. Bacha Etio.
And I'm going to say, I'm a child when you're tearful, you know. First of all, the Semen Kabibika Kramfa, the issue in the MPP.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Actually, one will say, so my tram backstage at tea, I'm from Bombeka Sa, you know. And if I think say he makes a comment, very, very important and very sensitive for you. I think the U.S. chairman or something like that. Bediako, he made a very profound comment concerning the issue that are going on actually to now in the MPP. But I don't understand why the Kennedy Japan group has been some kind of idea. Be say they are against every decision that is being taken inside the party. I had to say the Yati party be in the MPP, which is doesn't make sense.
Ken and Crawford no my MPP within MPP.
A different party in the MPP, you know, like a separatist in a country, and I cannot understand. Mame, MPP among you when a democratic party, right? Majority rules, right? Enti seme me pay party anima bedia. I need to put my things together before the election 2028. Enti say maintenance. Ama yenko do 2027. Ansana yakwa koto abakwa koyi primaries. Yakwa koyi fribera. Now from 2024 up to 2027, yebenya enemies in a party omube kansem omube gu party nani mase omube di intro omube try to just to for power sake nti omube kan the ense na mfata dia for party ne ho. I think the best thing to do is to cut out people so that after the February 1st, people may not have the possibility to say, sorry for my expression, shit about the MPP. They make what
yes,
because mommy, but it is said the coach Fufro about Krobum. We build the team by the choices of the coach because or no him how he want to play his game.
They say why any coach? No, they say why any coach? No, MPP.
The person that will be choose.
And nipa na ebe choose no no be selecting the team.
Exactly because CCCD can kesi kwakoto from the ground. Niya koyi nipa binom because in that case, Kennedy Japan will sponsor people to win at the root level. Bawumia will make sure that people can win from the district level. Your papa, Kwabra Japan, will also do his job. Brachempong will do his job. Maybe the former agriculture minister Otto will also do his job to get people on the ground. And this I fix it my people on the ground. Now your cost to about the last round. Na me nipa na nwene. Na sabi yemfa se Brachempong konwene. What do you think the constituency executive na yayi ne watano yayi no German South hono? Awoye Brachempong nipa no. Do you think the person is going to work hardly for a candidate that he never supported? Okay. So, we are dealing with a new structure, a new strategy. Because, you cannot do the same things that you did in the past and expect a new result.
Okay. Yo. So, na we ni a eno na obi ebusa mo question said the mu ye we ni a because mu yi esoro na said the all form no so say enye ni nipa no the osoro no a ono so campaign mamo.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, yisro na for sure. Amanfo omunim se omuni pop onipa no antimi anwene wosoro ho no. They will not even have interest to candidate for either constituency executive or even polling agent position because enye me nipa na wo ho. So I don't care. Enti anye hwe no. We will get the right people to hold the positions at the lower level.
Okay.
Because we lost 2024 not because Nanado did not perform. We lost because we are not able to work together as a team on the ground. Because oh, mama, it is something clear that we are all aware of. Best like some people are hiding behind. We want to support grassroots. We want to help. That is not the case.
Okay.
And in TNA, asema yewura kufo. Also, apano obi asebio. Me my body say ka krebi na afujere. But ono ne de no, baby na afujere. So can asema he makes a lot of sense. He go deep. You just have to listen to not only to hear the voice, but think when he's talking. But your party they making.
Override, Mato say. Everything your time now.
My my last one now.
Oh, we are 20 minutes already.
1 minute.
30 seconds in Patrol.
Yamfa we ntonchen say what the MPP has decided to do is the best way to go if you want to have effective people to work on the ground. Because our last election, internal people from the MPP worked against the MPP victory. And it's a fact.
No.
Internal people were working against the MPP itself.
I see.
They paid money to people to campaign against the party that they wanted to lead.
Why no?
My man. Sister, Mami Vim lady. Until one thing they call you Kumase. One time people were going home after home, giving them money. Don't go and vote. Bawumia has already won.
I MPP for
MPP in the MPP, we know them. They know themselves. And in Tiabronya Kansama, Oko Kansamo Brekuma, Eti Jano, because they were using the regional chairman's name to say to people, say, don't go and vote because the candidate has already won.
Oh, okay.
In some more.
Until the end,
some people must be put in the line because any people have a lot about you. We are talking about credible things, credible, not. Oh, me a friend Canada Japan Junior or Facebook. He's my darling guy, but he's making some political statement out of issue. Because you cannot be in a party and at the same time trying to attack your party people. What sense does it make? At the end of the day, who may not be a president, which people are you going to govern the country? Are you not going to work with your party members? So why should you have to destroy the image of your people? Why should you have to talk shit about your people? That without them, you can never go.
Rasta. Unya can kashi one the embajo. Let us say heat neighbor. Udia cash. Member the canon to us wash. Yeah, that's it. Was for me. Fancy and say by better was on Yango Monday. This has been Jasu, and thank everybody. Say, and we spoke about the CJ issue, the KMPP internal conflict. So, but we'll come back again and talk about it another time. George Mensa say if you are Memphis a Rasta, at some more canning in no cre or can go be moso. Amazon can go Rasta as say ask him what is the candidate's contribution to the party. O candidate Kasa. And so you want a contribution be to the party. Rasta be na so e kaseti a no. I go tell you man say okay, I could tell you who comment no go be. Ebi mo Lovely so support Rasta. Rasta sem na no waka no dey. Asem be on medical. Enti waka. Osborn say if I say what you said about MPP for now and also so Mbeka say also then if you say so what about MPs who lost across the country say or say was na o kan dia MPs so mo lose and so one air campaign tia wo apel Eric say wo ye Bawumia boy onim baby ofre nti na wo pemakuti asa no onim nti wo akuti na wo ba say wo ba be kan Zita crowd so wo ye dede omo ni mo candidate any baby a okeka ko ya beto aso Wednesday we say for ya da mo nyina want to say na mutie this has been Jaso yakobon ya aduma next week e be say share be good night. As an Production team, Mr. Kojo Hansi, David Nana, DOP, Edibedi Akunya.